Love has walked in through the door to my left. Dear friend, love this guy, Ed Roland, frontman, Collective Soul, in studio. Yeah, come on, my brother. Hold it. And right now, my partner, my co-host, Mr. Brett Barney. And then on the buttons, a little frazzled today, already spilled a beer on his keyboard, Tyler Maynard, the on-air, off-air secondary producer.
At least it wasn't talent doing it.
No.
We'd have to pay for it.
No, and
I can't believe you didn't blame me for it.
No, I didn't blame you, Ed, and we're all drinking. It's what we do.
Bona fide rock star. I'm nervous.
So, before we get started, I know there is no bigger fan of Burt Reynolds than I think you. You and I are, I think, tied.
Tied.
I think we're tied because
Love
I
him.
have a Bandit sign in my man den and everything like that. So I just thought I'd let you know I'm going to go by this name today.
Turd Ferguson.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a big hat. It's funny.
It's a big hat. You could be Turd Ferguson. I'm going to occasionally call you Ed Roland just because, but that's pretty damn awesome.
What do you think about the mustache? I've been trying to work on that.
I saw it and I was going to wait to talk about it, and I will. I think the mustache is working for you.
I do too, man.
It's
I
Magnum.
like the 70s, man.
You're like a Magnum PI that's gone hippie.
I'm okay with that. I like some Tom Selleck too, but you
I
know.
can see you kayaking,
Oh yeah.
riding a wave in Hawaii,
Oh, yeah.
getting in a Ferrari.
With the tights up, you know, the swimsuits that are up a little too high.
That's it. It is a good stash, though. Are you going to let it get thick, or is that as thick as you're going to let it
Well,
get?
you know, we had a week off. The band has not seen it yet.
Oh, that's great.
And
So I'm the first to see it. This is awesome.
And you know, I do it to kind of mess with my wife, and because
Will
she's like,
Turpin, Dean,
Hey, now.
Roland.
she not mess with her in that way.
It's a
Dirty
tickler.
you dirty-minded cat.
Get ready.
but
That's where it's going.
I know. I have no problem with that. But as soon as I show up, I mean, I can tell exactly what they're all going to go. Like, dude, you're too old to do this.
Oh,
you're
see,
too old.
I
for
hate the
this.
too old crowd.
I thought you had to be old enough for a mustache.
I know, but they didn't grow up in that era. You have to
don't know.
remember these cats, you know, grew up in the New Romantic era where you put makeup on your cheeks and stuff like that. They weren't real men like Burt Reynolds and Tom Selleck.
Real men.
I know.
God bless. Where did they go? John Wayne should have had a mustache. He did a couple of times, you know, in movies, but John Wayne's my other guy.
Genghis Khan.
Genghis.
I can't believe he played that role.
Yeah, he did.
Where?
He, in the last movie that he did, the one that he
Shootist?
did, The Shootist, where he was dying
Cancer,
of
yeah.
cancer and sitting on the pillow and everything. That movie, he had a mustache.
So it's funny. I was watching today. Who was the guy in Tombstone? Not Doc Holliday, the other one.
Wyatt Earp. That
Wyatt
would
Earp.
be
So Wyatt
Kurt.
So you know Wyatt Earp, because I watch Smithsonian channels. Like I'm a moron.
You
about
mean
it.
toast to that? I watch it and I do
So-
History Channel. I
know, but that's
love
how,
history.
That's how you learn. To me,
It is.
That's where you learn. You
Either that or
realize
read a
when
book.
we go, when everybody today is screaming, "We're going to hell. We're not going to make it through whatever, whether it's political or a storm or something." I'm like, man, this shit's been going on.
We've been through everything. Yeah,
We've been
yeah.
through everything.
Everything.
Everybody calm down, man.
Yeah.
You know, there may be some people that get their feelings hurt, but other than that, we'll wake up tomorrow. Anyway,
I totally
Wyatt
agree.
Earp was the first one that taught. He came in and was paid to teach people in acting what it was in the West. I don't know what the actual term was. I watched it this morning, so
Right.
it'd be like
It's like a consultant, like an
consultant,
Old West
correct.
consultant.
Old West
Interesting.
consultant. And John Wayne, whose name was Marion, because he went by Marion at the time, came up, and Wyatt Earp took John Wayne under his wings and taught him how to how
Shoot.
cowboys acted.
How to act.
No, how they truly acted.
Oh, yeah.
So he had the greatest acting teacher of all time.
Yeah, and you don't realize, but he did end up in acting because the woman that obviously he went and married was in show business at the time and led him into that industry, which
Correct.
was a trip. One thing that we always do, Ed, with the show, this is something Brett Barney does. We actually have a lot of people that are writing in comments or texting them in.
Okay.
And it's a little
They're
social
not
media.
texting them in. They're writing them in.
They're writing,
Yeah.
handwritten, mailed to here.
Is it handwritten if you type it? It's hand typed?
No.
No, you have to handwrite. I still write letters, and I get more comments when I send a thank you.
Because
and
nobody
it just-
does that.
No,
and,
it's,
it
it's nice.
really freaks people out.
It does.
really freaks them. They're like, oh my God, he actually, first off, can write cursive,
yeah.
and they can read it. I don't
You know what I did? I switched. We all could write cursive because they taught it. I did all print, and now I sign in cursive. But when you try to do all cursive, like when I write checks. Yes, I still write checks. But it's tough. You get carried away. You're like, whoa, 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 because you haven't done it in so long. I get too wavy, and I'm writing crazy crap. I'm like, slow up on the cursive. Slow up.
Doesn't a signature have to be in cursive, though? Is yours in cursive, Ed?
I change mine all the time, to be honest with you.
So people can sell them at different prices.
Guess who you don't want an autograph from? This guy.
Yeah, the appraisers must hate you.
Let me show you what mine is this year besides Turd Ferguson.
Yeah,
eBay's like, this is bullshit.
So,
yeah, definitely. It's not Ed's signature.
I can give you a bunch of them. Like
All right,
this used
today,
to be
if you sign something today to me.
Oh, it'd go.
That's a lot. What you got going over there? All right, that's pretty rock and roll.
That's print. My point is, you can read.
You got a flaming D.
Steve knows all about that.
Easy, big boy.
Matches that mustache.
But the D in Roland is flaming.
Well,
I mean, look at that.
Can we hold it up for the camera?
Yeah, hold it. Let people see
Yeah.
it. Nobody's.
I don't know how to do the camera. I feel
Yeah,
like a
just point it
weatherman.
there. There's
I
your
don't even know
camera.
which way. I feel
There's
like,
All right, look at this flaming D. I'm not lying. Look at that thing. Look at that.
So that is
signature.
That is a rock star.
2000.
Oh.
What year are we in?
19.
2019
So if
signature.
you get that
All
one,
right, hold it up, hold that up, Ed, again, and can you focus in on it? I want to thank Oxygen Financial with those two locations right there for being a sponsor of
let me
the
make
Yeah
sure.
Come On show.
Damn it.
The
I'm
Yeah
not helping you out any.
Come On show, a little higher.
There we go.
There we are, Alpharetta and Buckhead. You can go to Oxygen Financial, ask for Ted Jenkin, our proud sponsor right here. Thank you.
All right.
Now, what are your social media things you want to run by before we jump into Ed's life?
All right, I'll knock these out so we can get into that. Your boy, Terry Hesticles, he wrote in.
I saw this one. I like that name.
Yeah, Terry Hesticles.
It's not Turd Ferguson, but it's close.
Terry.
My new favorite podcast.
Oh, cool. Sounds positive.
Yeah. All right, then we'll go
That's
down
all he
that-
wrote?
That's all.
That's
we
it.
appreciate it. Terry.
Right?
Well, that was
Straight and
simple.
to the point.
Thank you.
RB Brown, GA, wrote in, I enjoy all you guys, but Southside Steve is more than I can bear.
Okay. Fine. Probably had sex with your sister, didn't I?
Oh,
No,
boy.
okay.
Here we go.
No, I'm sorry. That was bad. Hold on. That's the old Steve. The new Steve, now that I've had a child, I'll be like, I'm sorry you feel that way. I care more about you, though. Or I like you. Or it's okay.
No, I was just thinking we both might have. I don't know.
Passed her around a bit.
I thought we were both getting in
Yeah.
trouble for a second.
Ed and I did some damage on the
All
south
right,
side.
all right. We're not
Sorry.
going there.
Let's not go there. You have a new wife. You have a wife you want to keep.
I do.
Tag team champions of the South Side.
Matter of fact, if we could focus on blood real quick or, over there, because do you have one more social
I've
media?
got one last one.
But look real quick. Look at blood. I'm cutting you off. See that? That's his wife's figure right there on the album. That's how hot she is pregnant. Isn't she pregnant in that picture? Pick up blood. I don't want to see your belly.
Pick up the album. I can't zoom on
Pick
that
up the
one.
album. Look at this. That is
Isn't that beautiful?
That's the silhouette of Ed's lovely wife right there on the cover of their new album.
With our boy Lennon in her belly.
Lennon. That's little Lennon.
That's little Lennon. He's not little anymore, man. It flies, brother.
I
As you
know.
know, it flies.
God, I know.
It's crazy.
Finally, at SimplyFin14 wrote in, I will check it out. No telling what Southside will tell this week. That guy is an open book.
I am, and I think you are too. Here's the
I
thing.
have
You
no problem with I am. I am as God made me, so
yeah.
let's go.
You can't blackmail us because I've said everything about me, and usually I over-exaggerate it so it's worse than it really was. So how can you get me? No skeletons. Do you have one? Do you have a skeleton? Is there anything that you're hiding? Because really the Yeah Come On show, what it's about, Ed, is when we bring people on, I just want to, everybody knows if they're a fan, Collective Soul. They know the albums they have. They've seen you in concert. They're a fan, but they don't know what's Ed Roland like off stage. And that's kind of what we try to do is try to give people a feel. Is there anything, a skeleton?
I'm sure there are many things I'm not proud of that I don't want to, sit down at Thanksgiving dinner and tell my mother at this point in her life, and she goes, "Oh
Hope
my
she
God,
listens.
you did that," or my son, But
Yeah.
if you ask me, I kind of live a double life, and I think the whole Collective Soul Band does, and because we're entertainers and we love what we do, and it becomes this whole 2 hours build up before a show, and we still love what we do, and we get to go out there first off and enjoy each other's company and play rock and roll. And then, it takes a couple hours to calm down afterwards. But when we come home, we're truly what we were. Will is still what Will was as I remember him when he matured, if that makes sense, because I've known him since he was born. My brother is the same way. Jesse. And Johnny's one of the most down-to-earth people in the world. I mean, the day before I came here, I made me a fried bologna sandwich. That's just who I am. And I eat in the nicest restaurants. I've been in the nicest restaurants in the world. But if I'm home, man, I just want to watch a little sports, a little Smithsonian Channel, History Channel.
Like my
I mean,
history.
I'm just that cat, and I'm bored. I read books and I listen to vinyl, and I eat bologna sandwiches. Like my wife is like, "What is wrong?" And she didn't even understand. Like when we were first dating, I was like, "I'm just gonna make a banana sandwich." She's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Well, I just get white bread and mayonnaise and slice bananas up." And she's like, "That's the most disgusting." It still disgusts her because but the point is she's never tried that. But that's just who we are, and we don't. We like the other side, if that makes sense. We love the entertainment side. We like being recognized. We like the whole, the little glitz and glamour and all that. That's fine. But if you're going to come to Ed's house, you're going to sit in my basement and we're going to just chill out, get a grilled cheese and some brew, and
I love it.
Hang out.
And you know what? One of the biggest menu items at my bar, and it's the one that Ron White, dropping a little comedy name, which we'll have on this podcast at some point, he would drive out of his way, have his bus driver, goes, "I'm going to get one of those damn fried bologna sandwiches at Southside's." Because at our bar, I'm like you, and doing the Smoking Bandit, you talked about Burt Reynolds. We both love him. That was my thing. Like, you've got a band. You did what you wanted to do. I fell into a radio career I've enjoyed very much, and I still enjoy to this day. But that bar was something I just had to do,
right.
And I had to do a Smoking the Bandit themed bar. And I had a million people telling me you're an idiot, and maybe I was, and maybe I did lose some money on it. But the reason is and you know this firsthand too.
But I've lost money in music. It's what you want to do and what you love to do, and you go back out and you make money. Now, it's one step back, two steps forward, the way I look at it.
And I took about 2 steps back and a step forward, but either way, I'm still walking.
You're still going, baby.
I'm still walking.
You're still going.
I'm still here.
A lot of people lose money doing stuff they don't want to do at all.
That's
there you go.
Good point. Good point.
I know.
That's that's Tyler Maynard off
and
air.
their lives are not in danger.
No, they're not.
Your life was not in danger. They're doing stuff that.
Well, there were a couple fights. There were a couple fights down at McDonough. You know how McDonough
Yeah,
is.
I can get a little scared.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
Isn't it funny? And that's one thing I want to start and jump in wherever you want to on this, Brett. But Ed and I are similar. We're close in age. Ed's got me by a couple of years.
Yeah.
But we grew up same side of town. We know a lot of the same people, and definitely have a lot in common, like loving Burt Reynolds. And, I don't know what you know and what you don't know about this band, but I kind of want to do a history lesson with Collective Soul. And it all started with a high school band. It had to have. And what high school and who was with you at the time?
High school band. You know what? There was, the guys are 10 years younger than me, like Will and Dean. So my high school was just jock oriented. There was nobody I could play with, to be honest with you. That's why I went
But
to
you
school
were a
in Boston.
musician on your own.
I was. So I played guitar, and I could find no one to play. So I found some people in my dad's church, and we started I guess you call it a Christian band. It was called Wind of Praise. And we'd play, Sunday, Wednesdays, and all that. And I worked at Winn-Dixie and saved my money to go to Berklee College of Music for a year. And that's when I was like, okay, there's real music. Because I just wasn't around musicians.
You were in a tough spot.
Yeah, I was, and to be honest, I had baseball scholarships offered to me, but I was like, no, I already had the rooster hair cut, like Kajakugu or whatever, Duran Duran. And I was just so committed
Feel
to
free
music.
to play Duran Duran anytime
glory
you want.
days.
Yeah,
All
God
right.
bless you.
Really? You like Duran Duran?
I love Duran
Are you kidding
Duran.
me? Dean and I, we had a day off. This was 2 years ago.
Love
We had a
Duran Duran.
day off, and we were in Chicago. We flew to Red Rocks to go see Duran Duran. See Duran Duran at Red Rocks was one of the most awesome. And to
Can't even
be with
imagine.
my brother, it's kind of cool too. And it was funny because we had flown. And so Dino and I, we partake when we're on planes of
Liquor.
this. Yeah. I'm not, and we don't drive, so we're very safe.
Thanks for not saying heroin. I didn't know where it was
No.
going.
No.
Dean
We
and
had-
I will wear our private jet.
No. You're not. This is.
Yeah, TSA lets needles through.
I know, man. Clean that shit up, man. No, so we'd been flying and got there, and we're just being driven and
Being taken care of because you are a rock star and you've earned this.
No. We do
You didn't
everything
fly
right.
commercial, did you?
Yeah, we always fly commercial.
Really?
Why would I not? I have Delta.
He
It's
eats
the
bologna
greatest- This is
sandwiches.
the
I mean, you don't
greatest-
think he flies
This
commercial?
is the greatest private jet airline ever.
It's
invented.
Delta.
It's called Delta.
You know
That's
what?
why I never left.
That's called Atlanta, baby. There's two
really.
things we do. We fly Delta and we drink Coca-Cola.
and some Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Don't forget
Except
varsity.
Sundays.
Yeah, and Pepsi can suck it. What?
I know. Well, God, you travel, I want a Coke. We have Pepsi.
Oh, it's the worst.
Well, then
Ugh.
I'll take a sweet tea.
Well, I've seen a funny thing online. I've seen a funny thing online where they're like, "Oh, you have Pepsi? Well, here's Monopoly money." It's just
Right.
like it's not the same.
No, it's funny just growing up here like that. And our boys are funny about that. Our crew members are all from New York, and Dean and I wake up in the morning, and the crew, they're drinking water. Dean and I get up and we just chug a Coke, and they're like, "How do y'all not have diabetes?" And I'm like, I don't know. It's just what we do in the South.
I think it's coming. It's
No,
just not here yet.
Man, whenever it happens, it happens. Anyway, getting back to Dean and our story.
Yeah,
Duran
you
Duran.
flew out to Duran Duran in Red Rock.
Yeah, so we're there, and we've been drinking a little bit. And Dean and I noticed these girls were looking at us, and finally they came over, and they're like, we were talking, and they go, "What part of Australia are y'all from?"
Were you wearing that hat?
No,
makes
no,
sense if you
no. I was like, "Sweetie, we're Southern and drunk." The accent kind of goes a
Oh,
little.
that was it. They heard you.
Why did you not just roll with it? I would have played that out all night.
We are
Crikey. I tell you.
just good men. That's why.
I love me some Duran Durans.
I didn't realize that the drawl turns into Australian when you're drunk.
I
guess it
We're
does.
the Rolling Brothers.
I could see that.
I don't like the word drunk. Just right there.
Feeling good.
Boom.
Do you use tipsy?
Tips possibly.
I do not.
Yeah, I'm glad you
No,
brought that up. So
that ended.
you're a dude in high school. You're a jock. No long hair. I take it.
No, it was. I started coloring it and made it the rooster cut.
So you were going high on top.
I was going high on top.
So a ball cap could cover it. Baseball. Jock.
Correct.
All right. So you're playing with your dad, and that's the cool thing. A lot of people. Do you mind saying you're 50 what?
Oh, I'll be 56 in a month.
Okay, I'm right behind you. I'm 54. So your brother, and I didn't know he was 10 years younger than you. I knew Will was the youngest, the bass player, Will Turpin, who lives here locally. And
I think
in Ghana.
they're all the same age. It could be 9 or 10.
I love how you just don't know.
Don't care.
It's
What
great.
does it matter?
Guess what? Ed writes the songs.
What does it matter?
And they play them. No, but these are all great guys, and I've known your brother and Will. And Will's the easiest one to stay in touch with. He's very local and around. Having you here, I just want to tell you right now, and I want to thank Ed for coming in. I never could get him to play at my bar, but having you on this podcast is the next best thing.
Oh, dude, thank you so.
I mean,
do anything in the world for you.
I know. Dear
you know,
friend.
thank you so much for all you've done for me, dude.
Well, you are a busy guy, and you got a lot going on, and that's what I love. It's like whenever you see each other, you just pick up.
Yeah, you connect. Yeah,
You connect, and you just
it's that dude thing.
It's
is so weird to me, and my wife and I talk about it. I feel like you and I'll see each other, and it's like a connection within like 5 seconds.
Yeah, or maybe
Girls
3.
the girls get together, and it's like they got to raise hell each other for an
We got to warm up. I can't believe you haven't called me in over
I
2
know.
years.
I'm like, really?
Seriously.
Well, it takes a minute for the period to sink.
Yeah. Thanks.
No, that's true.
Seriously.
It's like the moon and then the tides and the period. That's
All right,
it.
if you
It
want
sinks
to
and then-
talk about that.
No, I'm just, dude. I took.
OBGYN.
I feel like I'm sitting next to Will Turpin already. Dude,
let me tell you about vaginas, man.
I took Common
Sometimes
Core.
they
I get
bleed,
it.
bro. They bleed. And when they bleed at the same time, people act weird, dude. Thanks. I just want to apologize to our wives.
I don't have one, so
Yeah, you don't. That's why you're saying what you're saying. Period. Talk, man. No. So once you're in when you're at Red Rock and you had that moment with Duran Duran, it was just really cool to share that.
with my brother, of course.
Yeah.
Like that's. I mean, that's the beauty of. I mean,
'Cause y'all
not
don't
only
live
my
in the-
friends, but I mean, it's my brother, man. It's a cool life to have, and
It didn't work out for the Black Crows, brothers in the band.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a delicate
that's-
line to walk. I mean,
It really is. Do y'all ever get
Oh.
upset?
Hell yeah! Like
'Cause
I
the
mean,
Rolands will fight.
I've told you the story about
They-
Dean not getting a fight.
they will
beat
fight.
somebody else up. Like we won't fight each other. It's just like to protect each other. And he's done that before for me. Like went after somebody. And I've done it. It's just I don't know. We're just
You know what's on Facebook right now?
What?
And I saw it, and I was going to ask you about it. I was just kind of looking at stuff, and refreshing my mind. My boy over here, Brett, has got facts. He may ask you about a song or an album. I just love you, so I'm just going to talk from that point of view. But I saw the old thing where you kicked the guy in the front row. You kicked a guy, and it's on Facebook now where the whole background's blue. It was in 2015. I forget where you guys were, and it was like for some reason that circulated on Facebook like it happened yesterday. I saw it 2 days ago. I'm like, oh yeah.
I don't know. I remember there was one guy just being a ding dong and screaming, "Bring back a certain guitar player," and Jesse had just joined the band, so this has to be it.
Yeah,
because that's where, and it wasn't just me. Well, and he kept screaming, "Bring back this person's name." So I could see he's right in front of Jesse. And I just went over to the guy. I was like, dude, be cool, man. Just be cool.
This is my guitarist.
Yeah, this is who it is. And he kept doing it. So I looked over, I said,
Sammy Hagar knows about that too.
I'm gonna give you one more chance. One more chance. And he opened his damn mouth. I gave him one. I warned him and everything. And then Dean's over there at the piano going, what just happened? And so I went over and told him what he was saying. So Dean bows up and going over there like it just became.
Here we go.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Boom! That's called power of the microphone, baby.
It's called the power of the damn guitar. I'd knock him upside the head.
Now, when does it?
So I told Dean, so Dean's giving him the bird. Here we go. So Dean's going over there. I'm like, no, Dean. So it becomes.
Come on, cameraman.
Oh,
part 2? Why would somebody divide that into 2
Because
videos?
people on YouTube are assholes.
Because they want more views.
Check us
for the
out on
second-
YouTube,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Yeah Come On show.
Yep. God.
At this point,
I'll put the music or the
where's
audio.
security dragging him out?
I don't know.
Because this dude loses no matter what.
So do you kick
but-
him or no?
But no,
No.
no,
Oh, this is a
I did
different
not
one.
physically.
Okay.
I've never gotten a physical.
It says the headline says kick someone.
I know, but
No,
you
I
didn't kick
kicked
him out.
Oh,
Kick him out. I
okay.
never physically went. But I
Once
wanted
again, to get more YouTube.
to. I wanted to.
views.
So Dean's like, I was just worried about Dean because,
He'll go in the audience.
yeah.
That's hilarious, man.
So and it's just
Look at
these
you with
people
short
that
hair.
Yeah, I barely
these-
recognized.
these people that just want to be so disrespectful, don't allow a band to grow, and to be, they're, I mean, literally lost in time, and to be told, dude, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I know you enjoy that part of the band.
It's not here
It's
now.
not here now, buddy.
It's not.
Was he asking about that old lead guitarist then?
Yeah.
He
Okay.
was just making comment, and
Right,
he's
right.
doing it in front of Jesse, who had just joined
Joined,
in. I
right.
don't give a damn. Him and Johnny, the best additions. Like I always say, if I could go back in time and start the band over, it'd be this band, bar none.
Wow, that's huge. That's how comfortable. And again, right now, let's talk about the new album just for a second. With the band you have now, this is the collective soul you've always wanted.
It is.
That's
really.
huge.
It started on the last one, which I think was a great debut as the unit that we are. But we've really, and this is a double album, so we still have 10 more to give you next year. And we're just so focused and enjoy what we do, love what we do. I don't know. It's just. They inspired me to write better songs. And like I said, Dean to be a better guitarist. We're inspiring each other to be better in all aspects of the band.
So everybody's grown. I remember the first time I met you guys, and I'm glad we clarified too on the high school thing. So once you came back after, again with the age gap and everything, you decided you wanted to put a band together. Will Turpin, your bass player, which lives in McDonough, Georgia, great friend to.
He's not my bass player. He's the bass player of Collective Soul.
Yeah, not your bass player.
No, we
Do I
are.
always-
we
is
are
that bad to say that? I always say
you know what? I
clarification.
find it.
Springsteen
I don't
can
think it's.
say, that's my bass player. Like
All right.
people
Well,
like that. Yeah.
It doesn't say Ed Roland Collective Soul. It's Collective
Right,
Soul
exactly.
to me.
So
So,
that's
I
why, yeah.
I read.
All right, maybe that's why Bon Jovi refers to people as his guitarist and his bass player because he calls the band his name.
That's true. Maybe, but I do. There is a.
I just made that up. I don't even know if that's true.
Just an
There is
ego
a.
thing.
There is a. I was reading Keith Richards' book where he said the only time because he was
that's
talking
a
about
great
Charlie
book,
Watts.
yeah.
He said the only time he ever saw Charlie Watts get mad was they were at Ron Wood's wedding, and Mick went up and said, "How's my drummer doing?" And it just lit him. He goes, "I'm not your drummer. I'm the Rolling Stones drummer." Like now, I'm like, Charlie Watts got mean. Charlie Watts.
Damn.
Yeah.
We lost camera, by the way. I don't know if that helps.
No, you're good. You're just.
All right,
When
'cause
I
I'm-
had to play that clip, I had to change some things around. But
No problem. If you play another clip, I appreciate it. But right now, I'm reading your emails, and somebody's
it's-
really upset with you. It's your
You're not
mother.
reading my-
No, I
Hold on. Hey, do you want that back? Because I'll have to stop everything.
no,
Okay.
no. We're fine.
Okay, I'm just
No,
checking.
We're
fine.
fine. We're fine. you know, when you talk about, and I'm talking about Will Turpin, and you know, he's the bass player for Collective Soul. But when you got these guys back, where did it all start? That at least you had your brother and Will, the two people that have been in the band since day one.
I mean, it's hard to say, and you were a part of it because Dean was going to attending Georgia State, and I'd made these demos in a basement, and I just told Dean, go take it to Album 88, is what we like to call it, and see if they'll play. Actually, we wanted y'all to play "Good Night, Good Guy." I did anyway. I thought that was the song, and he took it in. You and Sandy Fine were there.
Heard it.
And
Kevin Howard, another great guy that was there at the time.
And Dean was kind enough to walk in. You know, I was in a basement just doing demos, trying to engineer people's gigs, and y'all started playing "Shine" out of, like, I would have never imagined that song ever being played. And literally, I think after that, 2 months later, Georgia State asked us, or Album 88 asked us to play. It was Variety Playhouse for your Christmas show.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I was like, oh God, I got to scramble. Cause you know, I'd gone up and played with Will, and it's funny, they made fun of me a lot, but they did have a frat band, him and Shane, and I forget who else is in it. So I would go, you know, being the 29-year-old guy trying to, I had to be careful how I say this, you know, 20, 21-year-old girls, like just hanging out with the youth.
Dude, I was having sex with 21-year-old girls till I was 47.
If they're above 18, you're gonna clear.
It's in the clear. Is it perfect?
As long as you went on that plane with Epstein, you're good, baby.
Hold on. No. Look, I just want to say. I don't think I never.
Hey, I'll give you some on that, dude. I mean,
am I blushing? I don't want to blush. No, I never dated anybody over 25 until I got married. Now my wife's 31, so I'm in my 30s now.
My wife is the first. My wife is the first 30-year-old I've ever been with when she turned 30.
See,
Yeah.
you're the same.
Yeah. I nothing ever dirty. It was just like it was a youthful, you know.
What do you say to a senior at University of Georgia, a girl that just graduated driving a BMW that her dad bought, and she's hot, and she's got red toenail polish, and she wants you to take back to her Buckhead apartment? You say yes.
This is oddly specific.
Wow.
I mean,
Ed, what do you say?
Ed, what do you say?
Now.
You driving or am I driving?
No, that's great. So then you guys had to scramble, and you
I
played
scrambled really hard.
88.5, which
right,
was
and Will didn't even play bass. I had another guy
Really?
playing bass. Will played percussion.
okay.
So when we got signed, we were in Orlando, and the cat from Atlantic flew down, and I mean, we were god awful. I mean, it's just because we had probably 4 rehearsals in my parents' basement, and I was making songs up as we're going because the first record was just a batch of demos over a 5-7 year period that I had put together trying to get a publishing deal, songwriter deal. So it was just, but Shine had taken off.
Pull
thanks
Four
to-
rehearsals. That's crazy.
Pull up Shine for a
Chorus.
second. Yeah, I want to
So
hear that. For those of you that have never heard Collective Soul, this was the first song
Yeah,
that
this
was
is called a
played on-
drum machine.
played on the radio.
I'm pretty sure there's not a person who hasn't heard Collective Soul.
And
Shine. I've said specific.
My wife did not know of Collective Soul when I first met her.
And then you
15
play a
years
song
ago.
and they're like, oh, yeah,
Well,
I know that
yeah,
song.
but-
oh, yeah, I know that song.
But that was actually kind of good when I.
My
when I
wife
met her.
didn't know anything about me or what.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh,
Like it just.
saved our lives.
Yeah.
Listen to this. This is where it all started on 88.5 Georgia State, 100,000 watts. Baby.
Yeah, 100,000 watts.
Such a good riff, man. So you said you didn't think this one would be the one that took off? Why?
I
You
thought
another single?
Good Night, Good Guy.
Oh, okay.
No, we heard this, and again, your brother walked in the tapes, and the first second I heard it, I had a show coming up. I go, you got to let me play it, and the program director approved it. I was the first one to play this on 88.5, and what a privilege it was. First time.
And that's what took it. I mean, that's why.
And I forever talked about Collective Soul, because I wasn't into a lot of the music. I was doing the 88 Rewind show, which played all the 80s alternative. So I was playing Duran Duran. I was playing all the cool stuff that we grew up with, Ed, coming out of high school. I wasn't into all the new bands, Chuck Stuck Mojo or whatever the hell it was. But when I heard Collective Soul, a rock song, I'm like, oh my God, let me have it. And I couldn't get enough of your band.
We so can appreciate you.
No.
That's awesome.
And these guys charted on the CMJs. I mean, the college radio. And then the next thing you know, like you said, you're signing a deal and you're on your way. How many albums since that Shine album?
How many
Albums
studio?
has Collective Soul put out?
We just released our Blood is our 10th studio album.
10th studio album.
Yeah, in 25 years. And you know what? It's and we release which I'm going to tell you what the name of the second side, because it's supposed to be a double album.
Right.
You know.
Is it gonna be
So-
Chipper Jones?
No.
Oh, damn it!
What
Shout
is
out to
that?
Dark-
The
'cause he's
second,
number
the
10.
second, the second album title is going to be Brothers.
Brothers.
So it kind of mixes Blood Brothers,
Blood Brothers.
because that's what we are, and that's what we
Damn.
are. So you're hearing it first. So the
All right,
the
that's
next
cool.
recording
Clever,
coming out.
fair, I like it.
The Yeah Come On show just released it. It'll be Blood Brothers.
Well, it's going to be Brothers. This is Blood. And
Oh, and the other one's
yeah,
brothers, together.
Yeah.
Blood Brothers.
Right.
Got it. I think you guys should do a video where you all cut your hands and just prove it.
What is this? The Hangover?
No, I know. What?
Wolfpack.
What?
It's like, I'm not so sure about my bass player. Does he have hepatitis? I don't know. He's a little sickly. I don't think we're doing the whole blood brother thing. Sorry, Will. Just had to mess with you.
I'm not. I'm really worried about you, Will. You look a little thin lately.
You've always been thin. Will, you've been sick since day one.
The only way I know where his ass is because the other side speaks.
You can get away with that. Will's going to be like, oh, damn. You know, we've got Will on next week.
Great.
He's
I
going to
love
be
that.
like, I heard what Ed said.
Well, welcome to the bus.
You know, one thing I want to give you, since you gave me blood and you also gave me the CD and you've given me gifts, I wanted to give you the official Yeah Come On hat. That's the brand new one.
Is it?
Nobody's seen it. I have the white ones with a blue front and a black front. This just
Ooh.
right off the press.
All right. This is being worn.
Fancy.
How about that, people?
May I wear it
Seriously.
now, or-
Yeah, you may wear it now. Cowboy hat. Yeah, Ed does have a full head of hair, just for the record. He's a true rock star.
Yeah, this
And I'm glad it's long again.
You know what?
I really do.
I'm having fun with it.
I love Ed with long hair. I'm sorry. Short
I'm having
hair,
fun with
we
it.
saw a video of you
Yeah,
a little
that-
while ago. It looks great. But man, I
just
love
look
long.
too proper that way. It's just not my. You know
No.
what? When I get 65 or so,
You
and I need to be proper or something.
You gonna ponytail it up like Southside over here?
He ponytails it. He'll do a bun
ponytail.
like me, too. He does a bun.
No,
Southside's got a good color
can't?
chick.
I cannot do a bun. I've tried.
just
I
pull
don't.
it.
Color it up.
I see, I got the bun look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need somebody to dye it? Put a little color
Oh.
in there?
No, I do not, sir.
See, now that'd be me. Ed's nowhere near as shallow as I am. I'm shallow. I color my hair. I have to. I got to have people out there in radio land thinking I'm, still young.
Fun fact, Southside showed up an hour late to one of our podcasts because it took that long to get his hair
Oh.
colored.
Throwing him under the bus.
Fun facts is I don't really do social media, but for some reason Southside's shows up on my Facebook and I see pictures of him and getting his hair done and I'm like, this is disgusting.
I'm losing my man card with you and a few other
Truly,
dudes, but I'm not
truly
hiding it.
disgusting.
I'm
Did
not
you see him
hiding
getting
it.
the spray tan?
Next time
Oh
he's
God!
pedicure
Oh,
videos
God.
up
No,
there. yeah.
no, please,
I-
love of
dude.
God.
I got a bass before headed to Mexico. I was going
You got a light bass.
a bass, and I had her come to the house, and she did it, and I was really dark, like I was
Do
black.
you realize what the largest organ on your body is?
My
Penis. Yeah.
I knew he was good.
Yeah.
I was with him though. I
Yeah.
saw his eyes.
Yeah,
I knew it.
whatever. Flap
the
it down
skin,
here. Let's
right?
go.
Yeah, it's the
Your skin.
Yeah.
Be careful what you put on your skin.
That's sweet.
I know, but people always go like, "Man, you drink too much." I'm like, "You put too much crap on your damn skin."
Yeah.
And that's the man.
Well, lotion. I will tell you, you've got the skin of a 24-year-old. It's really soft. Touch him.
You know why?
Feel
Because
that.
I put nothing on there. It was God made me. Yeah,
Yeah.
just touch
Can,
it.
can
Just
I touch
it.
you?
Just touch it.
Ah.
Brett's gonna call his girlfriend. I'm touching Ed Roland.
You want to touch me, Ed? He's
Yeah, I'm all right, man. Thank you.
So what? We also do a thing on we call it a cigarette.
Do we talk about anything in this
No.
damn podcast?
No.
It's like a Seinfeld episode.
It is. We're talking
a
about
Southern
Finally!
You're not
it's
the
a
first
Southern
one.
Seinfeld episode.
Finally.
Look,
it's
I
like
don't do
hillbilly
show prep.
Seinfeld over here.
I have never done show prep in my life. You know this. And you're a great writer. You write all those songs. Where do these songs come to you? Because you watch the documentaries. We'll talk about something for a second. The writing ability of Ed Roland of Collective Soul. When you watch did you see the NXS, the little double?
Oh my God.
Was that not effing awesome?
I'm going to tell you right now.
I love NXS too. It's another fave.
I've been blessed because of my age to see some of the greatest artists ever, and the greatest frontman ever to me first would be Sammy Davis Jr. I was blessed to see Sammy.
Oh wow.
The second
That was Old Vegas, I guess.
The second would be Michael Hutchence.
I've seen him too in person.
I saw him at the Fox in '80. It was not Kick. It was
Before Kick?
Listen Like Thieves.
Okay.
So I saw him there. Me and my friend Chris went, and it just overwhelmed me. What a great front man he was. So I put Sammy first. I put Michael Hutchence second.
That's a bizarre combo.
But
I love it.
That's just what I've seen. And another one that I talk about is Scott Weiland.
Yeah.
I truly think was one of the greatest frontmen. Just something about his aura and just his ability to just honestly not give a shit.
Yeah, he did.
He loved what he was doing. He was in the moment, and there you go. And you know, I've seen the greats, Prince and everything, but sometimes that's great. Sometimes it feels forced. But when I saw Sammy, he was golf carted to the stage. They had to help him on the stage, and it's what I talked about earlier, like with us, when that music starts rolling, the adrenaline, the energy, and his love of what God put him on this planet to do, just
entertain, man.
It's like a plant that gets rain and then sunshine.
Brought him to life, right?
I've never seen anything like literally. This was 1988, 87 when I saw it, and and I'd seen Michael earlier, which was rock and roll, which I saw, but seeing Sammy Davis Jr. was just something I was like, it was life changing, and people forget everything that man could do, from not only singing, dancing, ventriloquism, playing drums, vibes. Like he was
so talented.
He was the Prince before Prince. He was Todd Rundgren before Todd Rundgren. Like he was the man. So
he was a part of the Rat Pack, and those guys were so successful. For them to let him in, especially I'll just say it, as a minority, you had to be extremely talented. You had to be the best of the best.
You had to be that, and you also had to be forgiving because they did pick on him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you read history,
they were joking, but
they were. And
they
it
were.
was a different time and era, and people also need to realize there was different time and eras that was accepted to a degree.
Right, right or wrong, it was accepted. Right.
They were not doing it. They loved Sammy. They were not doing it out of being mean.
So awesome.
And they loved him and would have done anything for him. And to be honest with you, I think they were jealous of him.
Yeah, because they probably didn't have that much talent.
They didn't.
And I love the fact you brought up. I saw Michael Hutchinson at Lakewood, and not Lakewood as you know it now, but it's the buildings on top of the hill, which you can see in Smokey and the Bandit. It's the old Lakewood Fairgrounds, and there are those buildings on top. And NXS did a concert in there with the pillars and everything. I think it was '92. It was one of the last time I saw him. I don't even know when they quit touring the U.S. or when he even died. I can't. You'd have to look that up, Brett. That's part of your job as a producer right now, so I don't struggle. Damn it.
Yeah, man.
But
Ed's making a drink. I don't know what you're doing over there.
He's struggling. I'm struggling. No, but I was blown away. And the NXS, my point was watching those documentaries. 97.
Died, yeah.
Okay. So
not
it was like 90.
Not to budge into Brett's territory.
No, it's
I'm
all right.
good. I'm just drinking.
Why
That's
don't
what you should be doing?
produce the show right now while Brett drinks? But no, to see them, and I was like, and then you watch these documentaries, whether it's Bohemian Rhapsody or anything. I think the documentaries come across if the artist just passed. There's something special about it. Whereas I don't think the one on Elton John is as successful.
Is it fair to call those documentaries though?
I don't know.
Biopics.
Whatever you want to say. But I will tell you, the one thing that you learn about these artists is their writing ability, the writing ability of the front man. And that is the greatest ability to have to, I guess you hear I don't know whether you write the words first or the music first, but that's what I was fascinated about, mainly with the NXS, because you knew the keyboardist was the guy that put it all
Yeah, the
together.
brother, yeah.
Brother, and you knew Michael
Well, he wasn't
Hutchins.
Michael's brother. I mean,
Michael was the writer. He was like a poet.
the lyricist, but God, what's the keyboardist?
I can't even think of his name.
I know.
Anybody? Keyboardist, because
I
so
have to tell you
talented.
a story. I know
Tyler,
they
go.
wouldn't care. We did a festival, and it was after they did that show where they picked the lead singer to take
NXS's place, Michael Hutchins'
So
place.
we were up, oh God, somewhere in Canada, like the Stampede or something like that, and we played before them, and we got off, and we went and hung out with the guys, and to see, they sat there and literally still cried about Michael. They
Oh my
loved him like
God.
a brother, and
Wow.
there's brother and a cousin in the band, and Dean and I were there, and it was. Because we were emotional because I just wanted them to let them know what their music meant to me and how Michael influenced me for good, bad, or indifferent, whatever people want to think. But that was an influence on me. And they just sat there and just, had a couple glasses of wine, actually bottles of wine, and and just to watch them still. This was when did he pass?
97.
97.
Yep.
So this was.
I remember watching. I think it was 2006 when they were looking for the singer.
So it was 10 years.
I was unemployed. That's the
10
only year.
or 11, 12 years.
I remember.
It was 10 to 12 years after.
It was
he gone.
2006.
So it was 10 to 12 years after he had passed. The emotion that they had for him was once again inspiring. That's what he brought to that band.
Yeah, which is incredible, and I think you bring that to Collective Soul. And with the writing, you write the words now. Is there music brought to you first? What's the process for Collective Soul?
Music comes to me first, and very rarely does the lyrics come first. On the Blood record, the only lyrics that came first was a song called Observation of Thoughts. So I wrote the music around that. But usually it's the music and something will spurt out, like a thesis, for like a better term. If I'm in college, like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's work on that as a title, or you start.
So you have your thesis. Now you got to do an outline.
Correct.
I remember college vaguely.
Right.
I went to Georgia State with your brother.
Community college, right?
I was there with his brother. I was a 28-year-old freshman. What's up?
Now, do you dictate to the other guys what to play, or do you give them a little bit of freedom?
Oh, not
or
at
what?
all. I show them, and then
The loose structure, yeah.
I'll play the song. Usually, nowadays I send it to them just because everybody's kind of got their families and everything, and then we come together, and I go, hey, and I'll go like Right as Rain. I'll go like I was listening to Sunvolt and Petty. I was like, let's listen to that, get the guitar tone, sounds, the vibe of that. You go for the vibe. And that's kind of what I do.
Right.
I'm not going to tell Jesse what to play on guitar. I'm not going to tell Dean what to play on guitar. They're
Right.
better guitarists than me.
They'll figure it out if you give them some boundaries
Right,
and
but
some
once again, we
guidelines
all
and-
work together as a
Right.
band because we record together as a band. We sit in a room smaller than this with Johnny's drums right there with us horseshoe around, and we give each other like, oh man, if you could do this, you could do that.
Yeah, it's like I'm hearing this, but I don't know. I
Right.
wouldn't know how to play it, but yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's truly become, and it's so easy to do that because at one point it wasn't that way. There was no one actually wanting to even be in the studio, so it was me, and that was just dangerous in itself. And
So self-indulgent. Yeah, you're just like got this
oh
masterpiece.
Lord, I'm so good.
Yeah.
I am awesome.
This is now going to be Ed Roland's Collective Soul. I can't do it without
but
myself.
to have the
I can't.
ability to have communication, which I think we should have in society in general, to have that with five guys creating something that no one's ever heard, and to everybody go, yeah, man, that's awesome. What about trying this or trying that? And it doesn't matter Jesse talking to Johnny on drums or me talking to Will on bass or Will talking to me as a lyricist going, hey, man, that word's kind of, what do you think? Can you try something there? Like,
That's cool.
we're at that place and peace in our band.
Yeah,
And
'cause
it's
no matter how good of a frontman you had, the conversation, I feel like, it leaks into the music when people are going back and forth like that, and it's a
once
give and
again,
take.
it's
and
just making me better at what I do,
Right,
and
right.
hopefully what I say makes them better at that part. And the end goal is to be the best band you can be.
Exactly.
No, that's truly awesome. And then you look at Collective Soul and the side projects. address the side projects for a lot of people. Again, you have Ed T's Sweet Tea, or excuse me, Ed Roland's.
T's?
Stop. Hey, I'm drinking liquor. Ed Roland's Sweet Tea Project. You have that.
Not anymore.
All right, Turd Ferguson. Turd Ferguson.
Oh, I was like, oh, we're just breaking news.
We're breaking news. We're with Turd Ferguson now. It's Turd Ferguson's Sweet Tea Project. And then Will has a project. Anybody else in the band is Dean?
Dean has Magnets and Ghosts, and it was during a point. I think it was. I think this band's had 2 turning points in our career. The first, of course, was the losing of a couple of players that just needed to be lost.
Mm-hmm.
They just they did.
What was it with the players that needed to be lost? I knew your fill-in drummer. We all knew him for a while. You had him.
No, Ryan Hall was first.
And
Ryan. Then you had Cheney. Cheney's
Cheney.
awesome. Cheney's awesome. He's in Like Machines. You need to check that band out.
Really? Because I like Cheney, but Cheney was the one guy, I went to a video. Y'all filmed on top of the W downtown Atlanta. You did a video up there, and it was pretty cool. I got the worst sunburn ever watching your ass. Nobody told me to put on anything.
I see all the freckles now
Thank
from
you.
that day.
That collective soul. I was watching, and Cheney was a fill-in drummer. You had your 4 members of the band, and it's weird when you got a fill-in member, and it's probably weird for the Rolling Stones too, because they don't let a certain keyboardist in on the pictures, But y'all were doing pictures for the album, and you got your drummer off to the side. Is that tough for you in those situations?
It is, and once again,
Because they're
when
guns for hire until you find the right guy.
When you start and you have 5 guys, and you start and you lose 2. It becomes like, well, how do I replace? It's the Stones thing. How do you
Stones.
replace it? And do you? And I learned my lesson the hard way. I allowed someone to come in to be a member that took advantage of that, because people don't realize before 2004, when we allowed this person to become a member, I'd worked my ass off since 1981 to create to that point.
Sure.
That's why you sit like that.
What's that?
Sorry. It was a joke. You work your ass off. That's why you sit like that.
Brett
have
wants
no
to get
ass.
in. Brett wants to get in the podcast, dude.
Brett.
No, it's all good.
Hey, love, I'm right here.
I'm joking around.
So, getting back to my
I mean, I'm
point.
sitting right at the angle where he sits.
No,
Ed has a
I'll
nice
talk to you.
butt. Just say it.
I'm talking
I
to you
can't
right now.
see it yet.
Go ahead.
I see it later.
He wants a
Keep
little
going.
more
You don't,
skin.
that's a joke in the band. Have you ever seen a grown man's ass?
Yes.
And so is the band.
Does that make me get no?
No.
So what? So what if I've seen it? I've seen
Get
it.
back
You
on-
guys-
You got to get back to.
I've seen a lot of members too. Okay, stop.
Lord.
Sorry.
Where's the camera?
No, it's
going.
right here. Right here. Look right at.
We're back to the podcast. We got a little derailed earlier.
Is this live?
It is live.
Yeah. Ed didn't even hear this.
No,
I know he's not hearing
Yeah.
the drops. I'm killing it over here,
you're
man.
killing it. Killing it. Yeah, but and here's
So
the thing. I don't
you
get
learn,
it.
you learn your lesson.
You let
and
a
you
guy
go,
in.
Wait a second. I did all this to get to this point. This cat shouldn't have that. So
Got to earn it.
got to earn it.
I believe in earning it.
So there was a point when I had to release 2 members of the band, the original members, which was well deserved. So that was a turning point for the band, and it took everything we could do for me, Dean, and Will to continue working from that. And then it was after the next 2 came in, you get rid of those 2 again, and it was a big deal for us. I mean,
It's got to be tough.
when I made the decision, and I make the decisions, I will always make the decisions. Me, Dean, and Will are sitting there, and Dean was honestly pissed off and threw his plate at Will and just goes, "You always take Ed's side," and I was just trying to do. It's just, which is, I like that though. That means there's passion. That means there's energy.
They
that
care.
means they care.
They care.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
If there's corn in Will's hair, it's okay.
Will, you deserved it. You always take Ed's side.
It's like a marriage with 5 people, man.
Oh,
It's great.
Damn it.
But then, but I knew where this was going, and now my brother told me, my mom told me, I'm gonna tell him, Dean. She was like, Ed had it. He knew where he was going and knew what was best for the band.
But Mom.
Well, it's
Mom.
Dean talking to Mom.
Yeah. I'm being Dean, the little brother. But Mom, Ed's mean on the road. He's mean.
Don't do that to Nat, because Dean's her favorite. We always kid.
Yeah.
Dean's her favorite.
Well, you know what? There's one thing. You're a good-looking man, but Dean's beautiful.
I mean, good Lord.
I mean, if we were gay, Dean could turn us all gay. Maybe.
Speak for yourself.
It'd be incestual.
Is this live again? I mean, is this real?
Dean, you're beautiful.
Is this really happening?
There's no holds barred.
Whew.
Yeah, sorry, we just mean you're a good-looking dude. Way to go, Dean.
No, but
I love it. I love it. Don't take my liquor. I'm being good.
He's taking it away. Oh, the
Damn.
hat is over the liquor.
Damn.
I don't need it over here because I'm gonna ask some dumb shit.
Yeah,
but-
you
but-
think
all right,
it's
well, let's
that
ask
in a
some
minute.
dumb shit.
All right.
Anyway, we're at the place where, and I told you this that morning when you were kind enough to have us
Mhm.
on our release day.
Oh, yeah.
I think this band is just now hitting its stride. I honestly, truly believe that.
No, you said that on Bailey and Southside on Rock
Right.
100.5.
I truly-
We were honored to have you guys in. You did your release day. And when you said that, I'll be honest with you, it blew me away because I was like, good
All you
God.
gotta do is listen to this.
Yeah.
Listen to Blood, and the next one comes out next year, and the next two are already written, and we keep ahead of the game. It just these cats inspire me, and hopefully I inspire them.
And I will tell you, the second you get done watching this podcast, you need to download this music. How can they do that? Just look up Collective Soul and go, I
Are
want
you
blood.
really asking me a
Yeah,
social
like
media
pretty,
question?
Pretty much any app, like there's
talking-
Apple
wait a
Music,
second.
there's probably Spotify. There's
You're
Netflix.
asking Turd Ferguson something?
Look, Ed
I'll
and I.
take 8 tit for $1,000.
No. What about Texas with a dollar sign?
Thank you. Well, hold on. Let's go to the children. Let's go to the children. How can they get it?
I mean, come on.
Just type it
Tyler,
into Google.
anywhere,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I
You know
mean,
what? You just go to Apple Music.
Just go to
You
Apple
Apple or
Music.
collectasoul.com
Spotify,
on
yeah.
Spotify. Yeah.
And buy the whole damn album. You can't get just a song, right? You got to buy the whole album.
Well,
That's how we record.
I
mean,
did want to say
this
how
is a,
it's- go
this is
ahead,
a
go
true
ahead.
story. So before we release the record, everybody, I say, all right, what song? We write it down. What song do you want to be the first single? We all wrote down 5 different songs.
Oh, that's not good.
No, that's awesome.
Is
that
it?
means how
That's a powerhouse. of an
freaking
album,
good
man,
we
yeah.
feel it is.
I didn't see that. I thought they needed to
no,
think
no, no,
alike.
no.
No,
And
no.
so we go, all right. We just sent it to Charlie Brusco, our manager, and was like, y'all pick one. We don't
That's
care.
awesome.
Like
Nice.
that's how much we love the record.
So how much has the landscape, as far as Spotify and all the digital stuff, like how much has that affected your bottom line?
Alf, this is the first time I've gone to Washington to speak on behalf of that.
Oh
and
yeah,
I don't want to get too much the Chamber of Commerce and to Congress.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks
I
for
don't
the
wanna get-
complicated,
Whoa.
deep-ass question.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry, because I
No,
just
no. It's
Hey, Dick.
this is one of those things.
I
where
dabble in
people,
music, so I
This
have
is
a
one of those
stake in
things
it.
where people go, "What came first, the chicken or the egg?"
Right, right.
This is easy to answer. The music came first.
Yeah.
Without the music, there'd be no Spotify.
There's no product to sell.
There'd be no
exactly,
Spotify.
Yeah. Mhm.
And to be honest with you, I have a serious problem with how that's been done.
Yeah, they did some backroom deals with
Hey,
all the labels and
I
stuff.
say bring back Turtles Records. Buy it.
And Peaches.
And Peaches. You want that album? Hold it in your hand. Damn the downloads.
Yep.
Damn. But it's the way we
you
do
know
business
what? I
now.
have no problem with it. Once again, I have no problem with streaming. I think it's awesome because it goes back to where you could put headphones on when CDs came off, if it came out, and you'd be in Tower Records and they have all the CDs, and you could learn and listen. To me, I love streaming because I can find other artists out there that I would never know and deserve to be heard. And hopefully,
Accessibility, yeah.
correct. Accessibility is unbelievable. But damn it, I work my ass off. I need to get paid.
Got to get paid.
Exactly.
It's
the
just
quality
that
of the
simple.
art will go down so much, and it has. You see the music, the artists we have now.
I don't get into that. If you do it, but if you do it with a heart, you win.
Right, right.
I'm not going to question somebody's heart.
But as far as like making a
but
living, if somebody has to
business-
wait tables and make music, the
right,
music's gonna
right.
suffer.
But as far as business, it's been a little one-sided. I will give Apple credit. They accepted what Congress passed and the legislation that was passed, and then here comes Spotify
yeah,
suing
they're a
them.
little
It's not-
different.
You know what?
Sorry to derail the show again.
No,
No.
don't
I have
worry.
no
No,
problem
you're
with it. And you know what? If I piss Spotify off, I don't give a shit because
Yeah.
I don't really get
Yeah.
I
fucking
mean,
paid from
Taylor
them.
Swift, a bunch of people were holding their stuff for a long time.
Well, that
off
was
of Spotify,
manipulation
yeah.
just to showcase, and they got
Yeah.
paid from. Trust me, it's
right.
that's marketing. on-
Negotiation, yeah.
That's
You-
marketing too.
You
But
just
my
brought up
point is,
Taylor
on
Swift
the
this
bottom
show.
line, and I don't care if you're a band that was in the '80s, the '90s, '70s.
Mhm.
You created that. You worked hard to get to that point. And I go back to like when I was 14. I decided I wanted to be a songwriter. So from 14 to 30,
Mhm.
I spent 16 years and making nothing. I mean, I was a janitor in my dad's church. I took that chance.
Mhm.
I should be rewarded for that, not some cat that can write an algorithm and and
It's taking no risk. Yeah.
well, they take risks.
bet,
Don't
yeah.
no. They take risks
Mhm.
because he's sitting in his like I did, sitting in his mom and dad's basement, figuring it out.
Mhm.
But you're taking my property. You're
Oh, I see what you mean.
you're
Okay.
taking my property
Mhm.
and not.
I don't have any
paying for it.
property. Brett, you have property?
No, you have your.
I
yeah,
talk.
come
I
on.
throw it out there. I have come on. Don't take my come on.
So
No.
as a janitor, would you consider yourself like the Happy Gilmore of music? 'Cause he was a janitor. He was a construction worker. He worked at a gas station.
I so far keep going. I'm the
No,
happy
he did.
Ed,
Remember,
I guess, right now.
because, yeah.
No, it's all the same.
Yeah.
I did the same.
Happy Ed.
God bless my father for having a church, and he hired me to be the janitor, and I got to work there for a year. And I mean, it just kept me alive. And
How you all doing today? I'm Reverend Roland, and I got to tell you, we're going to do a third, what do you call it? We collect the money?
Donation.
donation,
No, it's not donation, is it? It's something else.
Donation bin.
offering.
Offering. We're going to do a third offering, and this goes out to my son, Ed Roland. He's a loser right now, trying to be a winner.
He cleans the bathroom.
This is funny.
I want
If you
everybody
took
to
a
know-
big
Hold on,
dump, you
this
better
is-
put in
this
double.
is funny. The high school was in front of my dad's church, the First Baptist Church in Stockbridge. So
Come on.
You take straight up to Stockbridge High. So during this time, I would be out there cutting grass and everything. And I'm not kidding you. Will and Dean would drive out from high school, and they'd honk their horn. What's up? Dude, you rock. I got my hair down to my ass, and I'm on a riding lawnmower.
I swear I'm going to be something one day.
I swear, buddy, just hang in with me.
Forrest Gump said that.
Yeah, but you know what? What is it, Forrest Gump? What is this coming from?
Dude, Forrest Gump mowed the lawn on the football field.
I know he did.
Pop culture references abound here.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Let's get back to the church. Amen.
Now, we're going
This
to
could
do
be
a
the-
we're going to
this
do
could be
a fourth collection.
The strangest damn interview I've ever
Hey,
done.
you know what,
That's
Ed?
what we pride ourselves.
I wanted
This
to,
is awesome.
This is the Yeah Come On show, baby.
love it.
Anything goes. The fact that you showed up here, and I just wanted to thank you. And this is the cigarette break before we get into some crazy ass questions that Brett wants to ask you. But we've timed out a cigarette break. We figure the average break, if you're really wanting to take your time, is about 6 minutes to smoke a cigarette. But if you're hauling ass, like 255. So I'm going to give you about
255. Why did you not say?
What do you say?
3
I'm
minutes?
a smoker?
No. So what I'm doing is giving you a cigarette break, that much time to just get shameless. Anything you want to say, anything you want to talk about, where we can find the album, promote. Sweet Tea Project, anything you want to talk about. Homosexuality, I don't care.
The fuck is going on here?
There's one right there. I'm glad somebody opened the floodgate before I get a thought.
No, is there anything that right now we can promote for you other than blood?
I would like to promote Will Turpin's solo record.
Nice.
I'm so proud of him and Dean's Magnets and Ghosts. I do. Once again, we talked about that earlier, where we had that break, and I think it was good for everybody to go do their own gig because too much attention was being spent living Collective Soul, and it gave them a chance to be individuals. And when they did that, and I did it with Sweet Tea, when we came back, we were like, yeah, man, we're a unit again, if that makes sense. Don't make fun of the word. The unit. We were.
I'm being dead serious.
Jesus. Finally.
No, don't you dare act like you got your act together over there. He's playing cool rock star on me, and I'm looking stupid. Will you join in the fun?
I am. I'm here.
Come on, will you be fun?
I'm here for you, buddy.
I love you, man.
I didn't know you had to look stupid.
Look,
Man, I love that beer by Scofflaw.
Read that again, brother. I'm sorry.
Do not refer to me.
is Ed Roland? Turd Ferguson. No, your projects, and I got to tell you, Will Turpin's, I
I'll-
dig his.
I'll take condom for 800.
Nice. I'll take lesbian for
It's
1,000.
condiments.
Condiment.
Ape tit. Yeah, that one's good.
Now,
That's awesome.
so Will Turpin, what's the name of Will Turpin's band? The Turpineers?
No, it's Will Turpin.
Just Will Turpin.
Yeah.
Just Will Turpin and Dean, your brothers.
It's Magnets and Ghosts.
Magnets and Ghosts.
Correct.
Very cool. Is Dean still living on the West Coast?
He is.
All right, so
Proud new papa.
we're a proud new papa. Congratulations out there, Dean. Seriously, that's
so
awesome.
happy for him.
So where is everybody in the band living? Who lives in Georgia right now? So there's no chance for you guys to actually jam together. Everybody has to meet somewhere on location, right? Because
Correct.
you're
Correct.
just not all in the same city like you used to be.
Correct. And that's a good thing.
I see. I would have thought it would have been a bad thing. Seriously, for Collective Soul.
It's been a great thing. Because everybody has their own family, and once again, you have to identify with who you are as a person, identify who you are as a family, and identify with your children, and it just takes Collective Soul out of the equation. We can meet up and be Collective Soul.
Sure.
To me, as a family man as you are now, you understand that's priority number one, and that's
totally
what we are.
is.
We are a family first. I'll break this band up if it means something goes wrong with the family, and the guys would do the same thing.
Wow.
So we're family first, and this allows everybody to have their own identity with their families. To me, so I'm still in Atlanta. Will's
He sold his house.
did he?
I thought he did. I mean, he's been on the market. I put it on my Facebook. I'm trying to help you sell your house in McDonough, Will.
But they're in. Nobody cares. I mean,
But he's
we're
in
open.
Georgia.
He's in Georgia,
Yeah.
and Johnny's in Indianapolis. Jesse's in Nashville, and Dean's in San Diego. So
Damn.
it just
Dean's got it going on. San Diego's awesome.
you want to pay those state taxes?
No, hell no. Hell no. But I like the weather. Love the weather.
I like visiting.
Yeah.
I can save enough on my state taxes.
Hell no to
Have a
live in
nice
there.
little Four Seasons visit over there.
I'm like, my God. When you talk about you finally found a home, you've been married now for 15 years. Beautiful, beautiful wife.
Thank you.
Yeah,
She is.
She's
awesome.
And you've got children with the first wife and the second.
I do. And everybody gets along. I mean, I can't tell you how blessed I am to. It's funny to talk to people and I go, my ex-wife, we're like best friends. It's cool.
You're cool with the ex-wife?
Oh my God, yeah.
Cool.
Like, and
I don't know
my
that I knew
wife-
that
My
ever.
wife and ex-wife are pals. Like that's just.
Oh, that's so
just the way
awesome.
it's
Weird.
And by the way, my ex-wife's fiance,
Mm-hmm.
played on our record.
You're kidding.
No, why not?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's. I really
First
do.
and foremost, if you're going to be
No
there
drama.
and be good to my son, which is all I care about,
Then I'm going to
Lindsey
love you
Chris.
for being good to my son.
Eskimo brothers.
And Stephanie and Peter are just awesome. They're awesome.
Dude, that is great. That's
And
some,
Peter's a great musician, by the way. And he Dave Grohl brought him on stage.
Mm.
He's a big influence to Dave Grohl.
Dude, hold on. That's pretty damn huge.
I know. I want to hang out with Dave Grohl.
How does it?
My ex-wife's fiance's hanging out with Dave Grohl. I can't even hang out with Dave
Is
Grohl.
he a session musician?
No, he was in a band that was a punk rock band around the Washington, D.C. area back when Dave was growing up.
Okay.
He was a big influence. And, and
So he's our age, this guy.
he's younger.
Younger?
Yeah.
Wow. For Dave Grohl to pull somebody up on stage, that's point.
And Peter sang, Dave played the guitar, and that was it. There was nobody. It was
Damn.
crazy. It was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful.
I just want to introduce this is Ed Roland's ex-wife's boyfriend. We're going to bring him up on stage.
Fiance.
Fiance.
I wish he'd have said that.
I just want to thank Ed Roland. I don't know where he is, what he's doing right now. Yeah, wouldn't you die? Is there anybody that's ever brought you up on stage, an artist, to participate? Because you guys have fronted. You've been fronted for. Who have you gone on the road with that just blew you away? One I know because I lived it was Sammy Hagar. You guys were around those guys.
Oh my God, Sammy's the one that we did this year. I did was Asleep at the Wheel, and it was a South by Southwest, and the cool thing was it was Ray's birthday. He kind of does it. The Sleep by the Wheel does it South by Southwest, and my oldest Lindsey Chris came out, and he and I did December in World I Know, sang together with Asleep at the Wheel as our backing band.
Oh my
I mean,
God. So
other
your
than Willie
oldest-
Nelson,
Damn.
and Stevie Ray Vaughan in Texas, Asleep at the Wheel are like gods. Like,
Wow.
and it was just the sweetest moment. And you should check it out. They
But
did
say,
a
Play the
360.
World I Know, either one of those songs. So your son, musician.
Correct. The
That's
oldest.
awesome. That's awesome.
The youngest is a son that makes my peripheral vision about this far. Like I don't know what's about to happen at any moment.
That's awesome. Isn't it great?
Actually, he's an entrepreneurial camp
Really?
this week.
Okay. I'm learning to own my own business. I'm learning to be in charge of myself.
You know what he's doing?
What?
He's making sandwiches. He's making specialty
Bologna.
sandwiches. Bologna sandwiches.
Nice. I don't know how special that is. They make them in every prison in America.
That's a good point, Brett.
Just gonna throw that out there.
Well,
your son-
it just prepares these young men.
Are you teaching him the way of the
It's just
banana and mayo
preparing them for
sandwich?
the way of the future.
You never
for
want
these
to
young
teach a
men.
young man the way of the banana.
This song, I love this.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. World I Know.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It's a great song just riding down the road. Just starting to get dark. It's not dark. It's not daylight.
Twilight,
It's
yeah,
twilight.
yeah.
It's twilight.
I don't. Do you want to
Somebody
take a quick
does?
break?
Somebody does.
Yeah, in the car. Yeah.
Hi, this is Ed Roland from Collective Soul, and I've been here with Southside Steve, who's been asking some really pussy questions. So I'm going to turn to you, Brett, and just see what you have to offer.
Wow, with an intro like that.
I ask what I eat.
All right, you were talking about Dave Grohl. When James Hetfield and Dave Grohl die, will rock and roll die with them?
As long as I'm breathing, it's still going to be going.
Damn right.
But don't you
Damn
think
right.
that they're pretty much the two main rockers left?
I'm sitting right here, sir.
What a
I mean, you
Dick.
told me not to be a pussy. I'll ask you right to your face.
And I'm not a pussy back. I'm answering your question.
All right, you talked about your boy Prince. When Prince died and Michael Jackson died, which one hit you harder?
Prince.
Why is that?
You know, I think Prince was, when I first started, like I said earlier, I had no one to be around me. So I had to learn a lot of instruments myself. And I worked in a studio, Will's father's studio.
Reel to reel.
Reel to reel,
Right.
which, by the way, Will owns. And it is the longest surviving studio in the state of Georgia, which
Oh, wow.
is something you need to bring up to Will, which is something very,
That's
it's like a Rolex watch that you know, when they were first made. It is the oldest studio in the state of Georgia,
Oh, that's
man.
impressive.
It's-
What's the name of the studio?
reel to reel.
Just reel to reel. Okay.
And that is Will's studio now. And
Wow.
his father was beyond a big influence. It's hard to describe what Bill Turpin meant to me, because he gave me a chance, and I caught the studio on fire. I did everything that you could do to get fired.
I burned down the oldest recording studio in Georgia.
I did everything to get fired, but Bill believed in me because he watched why I would sit there for 9 months, not get paid a dime, and just sit there while this other engineer was working, and I just was visual and learning. And then they would shut down, and I'd ask Bill, can I stay here late at night? And that's where I learned my songwriting craft. And going back to Prince, I had nobody to help me, so I had to learn to do everything myself. So, and Todd Rundgren was a big influence on me also at the same time, because he did everything himself. They didn't have to do it because it was forced upon them. They just did it because they could, and it gave me the encouragement that I could do it also. But I didn't want that, and I'm not that now anymore. The guys make fun of me. Like, I used to be a really, really, really good guitar player. Like,
Really? That's
yeah,
a
I
shame
would-
that went away, because, man, it's kind of
No,
cool.
it's not. Have you heard Jesse Triplett play guitar and Dean Roland play guitar? I mean, they're the best guitarists on the planet. I mean, and what they allowed me to do was be what I wanted to do, and that's to be a songwriter. So it allows me my time, my freedom to focus on what I want to do, and that's to be a songwriter.
But you will pick up a guitar in a concert. You will. And you'll play some keyboards if necessary.
And they make fun of me every time I do.
Well,
At the
they
end
do-
of the show, they're
so
like,
mean.
"Good Lord, when are we going to hire a piano player?"
Like, look, I can still do it. I can still do it. Elton John's available.
Did you write Run?
I write everything.
Okay, when you found out your song Run was going to be in the movie Varsity Blues and you saw the actual movie, were you pissed that it didn't land the teacher stripping scene? But I mean, granted, like Van Halen was a gimme for Hot for Teacher.
I can't remember the movie. We were just happy that somebody liked what we were doing, because at that time, the major label, because let me try to explain this. When we came on, we already had a hit record. Nobody found us. Nobody was our cheerleader at the label. So I'd had conversations with the label going, literally nobody even knew we made a record. We had no A&R man. It was just, I would go, all right, guys, we're home. After 2 days, I'd go, let's go make a record. And I would pay for it. And I remember calling one time going, do y'all not like us? And they're going, well, it's not broke, don't fix it. And I remember showing up in New York one time with a finished record, and they go, "Oh my God, we make the second quarter." And I was like, "What's the second quarter?" Like I understood none of the business. I learned on the fly.
Just enough to play Galaga.
And so to have that in a movie was great because at the time we released Run, the label would not make a video because they said, we want to see how it does on radio. So it went to #1, and I remember calling the president and going, can we make a video? He goes, let's just see, how long it sustains. I'm like,
What the hell?
This is a true story.
Are
This
you
is a true
kidding me? It's a #1 record. I don't
Hold
give
on,
a damn
it's a
if
true
it's
story.
1 week.
Hold on, this is a true
All right,
story.
okay.
Hear me out.
Got to calm it down.
I know. And I actually had a concept for the video, which at the time was the roller derby was kind of the hip hot thing around 1999, 2000. And I wanted to be a roller derby of girls, like, heavy and, kind of sexy. Yeah.
Sexy.
Yeah, I'll go
Sexy
there.
with a little physical.
Pretty
Right.
thick, yeah.
But no one had done that. And I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. Whether it is or isn't or was or wouldn't have been. So it was #1 for the 4th week after a month. And I called back and said, can we make a video? And they go, well, let's just see how much legs it has. And I'm like, okay. 10th week, I called back at #1, 10 weeks in a row.
Good God.
And I go, can we make a video? They go, I think it's used its legs up. The 15th week, it was #1.
I'd be driving to New York. I'm kicking some ass.
I called them and I just literally said, I guess we're not making a fucking video. I'm glad I know where the cornerstone and the threshold of what a rock song hit is. And literally that's when the downslide of my relationship with the label started.
Right.
That sucks because TRL was popping off back then.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Says me never.
Hey, what's on Collective Soul's Rider?
Oh, it's boring.
No brown M&Ms, nothing like that.
Hey, can I have
No.
back my liquor? I think I've been good.
No, yeah, okay.
Thank you, Ed.
You
Thank
burned
you.
it.
Here you go, son.
Speaking
No, I know.
of, we have a handle of Tito's, which now we want to go to Double Cross Vodka, which is an absolute wonderful vodka.
Sorry. Noisy cork. By the way, Woodford Reserve, looking for a sponsorship. Go ahead, Ed. You take it.
So
Well, I'm trying to
Tito's-
help you with a Double Cross. And
Are
by the
you?
way, the same people that make that do Bob Dylan's, they call it Tennessee whiskey, Tennessee bourbon, which I don't understand because
Oh.
it's got to be out of Kentucky, I thought. But anyway, it's called Heaven's Door. Heaven's Door. Heaven's Door.
Wow.
Kate,
Great.
the cult.
Heaven's Gate. That was a movie, you ding dong.
Wasn't that the cult though
No,
that killed
No,
himself?
that was Chris
Bullet?
Christopherson.
No, Heaven's
It's
Gate
one
is all
that
the
broke
peop-
it's one that broke a movie studio. Of course, you would remember that one.
Wait, are you
It's-
talking about Blade?
No, I'm talking about everybody who wore the black Nikes and killed themselves trying to catch
That's
a
Heaven's
comet.
Gate.
Blade.
Yeah,
One,
that is a
2,
Heaven's
3.
Gate. That might. It is a movie as well, I believe. It's both.
Guess what? Everybody on the show is right about Heaven's Gate. Go ahead.
All right, what's on the Rider?
Handle of Tito's. Will likes his red wine.
What a gafer.
6-pack vibe. We keep it simple because people don't realize we pay for that.
Oh yeah,
And so
you pay for it every
we pay
place
for
you
everything.
go.
So a 6-pack IPA, 12-pack of Heineken, and then lots of water.
Lots, because you know what? A band has to stay hydrated. Very important.
Yeah, Tito's does that for you. All right, Grateful Dead has the Deadheads. Beyonce has the Bayhive. Justin Bieber has the Beliebers. What does Collective Soul call their groupies?
I don't know, but I'll make it up.
I have
What
some
are you thinking?
suggestions for you.
Soul hits.
I was thinking, how about
Oh,
this?
nice.
All right, my first one's kind of crappy. So I'm prefacing
Hey,
it.
Yeah, at least.
The Collectors. But check the second one. You should call the guys Soul Brothers and the girls Soul Sisters. And sell T-shirts that say Soul Sisters and Soul Brothers.
I am writing that.
He's
down.
in-
I
he's
like
trying to
that.
make
I
you
like
some
that.
Do you
money.
really like that?
I think it's
You
awesome.
could buy, dude. If
I
you had
think
a
it's
Pulled
awesome.
off the right way, I could
If-
see
yeah,
it, but
if-
it
all right,
depends.
all right.
It depends.
Soul Brothers, Soul
Soul
Sisters.
Brothers.
It's not going to be in that accent. I
No.
mean, it just says Soul Brothers and
Soul Brothers.
Sisters.
All right, for Collective Soul, having your fan base, that's not bad.
We did
right,
this year,
fine.
just
All
to
right,
let
cool.
you
Want
know.
5%.
We did this year, and it was my idea, the state of Georgia, because I had seen these T-shirts of different states, like home, it'd be whether it's Georgia, California, whatever. And I was like, well, put Georgia and put World I Know in there, the lyrics of World I Know.
That's solid.
And
I like
The
that.
T-shirt company was like, I don't, it's so centralized, like people that don't live in Georgia aren't going to like it. #1 selling T-shirt. this
Damn.
year.
The world I know, the state of Georgia.
And then on the back is the world. Like it shows the flat world, which everywhere we've been. So
I would like a Soul
I
Brother
like the
T-shirt.
Soul Brother and I like the Soul Sisters.
Yeah, I would like one of the T-shirts.
I like Blood Brothers. Like I said, I like things like that are just.
Yeah, but like I don't know. There's a negative connotation on a blood brother kind of thing. That's a long story. Goes back to the period thing. I'm not getting into that anymore. All right. What do you do when you forget the lyrics on stage?
It's a quavano. It's a quavano. Sorry. There's a malfunction on the mic.
Yeah.
That's great. You have found yourself. I mean, you have a lot. That's the one thing that puzzles me because I don't have anything memorized other than the alphabet, and I don't know how you people keep all these songs in your head. And it's like you would get every lyric, everything you remember, because you're going to do a set list of what Collective Soul does in a night 14 to 18 songs.
Try to do 20.
Damn.
17 to 20. It depends on, curfew.
And curfew, perfect. Like if you're playing Chastain, curfew.
Curfew.
Any
Jesus.
outdoor.
I find it's sorry,
curfew.
man.
No,
It's-
no.
it's- Go ahead.
Oh, check that.
He forgot lyrics again. Did we forget the podcast?
Yeah, that was Ed. That wasn't me.
It's a shot.
Do you ever have like, I know you can't put them down in paper, but do you have the teleprompter?
I do not have a teleprompter.
Because some artists do. Fair
I
enough.
put 2 lyrics down, and it's so weird to me that I cannot remember these 2 songs, and it's Precious Declaration and Run.
Run, you can't remember.
No, because it's a.
You know that was a #1 for 15 weeks.
That was heavy. You're not paying attention.
no,
know
you
what?
said
No,
run.
that was Run. That was
You
the
said
discussion. Was
Run.
Run.
No, it was
said-
Run.
did I say
You're still
Run?
in his-
You might
take
have
my
to
word.
check the audio. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was because Run was what was in Varsity Blues. Run was in Varsity Blues.
Well, then
We're
I
all
tried
over
to
the
make.
place.
I was saying that we had a video,
Which Run
that
would have
we
been
had,
15
but
weeks at #1 if the
No, no,
titties from
no.
Varsity Blues were being out while the song was being played.
young men. And I said, yeah,
The
we were
artist is
happy to
talking.
have that because we released Run as the first single.
Got it. First single.
All right, pass him back. He deserves his.
I
I'm
deserve-
gonna
I'm
be-
in
I'm gonna let-
purgatory.
You are, sir.
Welcome to my life.
This is hell. That's heaven. Hello.
And this is
I'm in-
glorious.
Yes, it is. We're good drinkers, and I want to thank you for using one of my Come On koozies. I want the tour bus, the Collective Soul tour bus, to have a bunch of those. You can go to yeahcomeon.com, by the way.
You know what we should do the next tour? Because once again,
I have a
we're never
question about
stopped
your tour
touring.
bus.
Brothers tour
Mhm.
should be wrapped. Tour bus should be wrapped with Yeah, Come On.
Oh, wow, that's quite
Hey.
a proposal. He's choking up.
All we need is Woodford to come in.
Oh, now we got to have somebody to pay for it. Son of a bitch. Woodford, look, seriously.
It's called Businessman over here.
Yeah, businessman. I drink a lot of Jack Daniels, and I've taken it upscale. I'm Woodford Reserve now as I get older because I can drink it straight without the Coca-Cola.
Well, they have this on Delta, which once again, let me just throw another name out there.
Go ahead.
Delta
lot of
serves
plugs.
this on Woodford Reserve.
Mm-hmm. We're ready when you are.
Wait, what's the best and shittiest way you've ever toured vehicle-wise? Because you've kind of started from the bottom.
I mean,
down here. Now
that's
you got the
easy. That's
bus.
easy. Just whatever automobile you had at the time or your girlfriend had at the time, because there was times I didn't have a car.
That's
and
kind of
then-
sweet. That's like a Uber.
Yeah, well, she wasn't driving.
We just need your car.
That's not like an Uber.
My parents had a van, so I used to borrow their van, and we did South by Southwest in 1988, back when South by Southwest was only for unsigned bands. And we drove out there, and right outside of Dallas, the engine blew. And I'll never forget, it was just a 3-piece band.
What were you in though?
It was a Chevy something. I mean, like a 70s van, something
Oh,
you'd be
old
listening
school.
to Jim Croce and,
Yeah.
Time in a Bottle kind of stuff. But the engine blew. It was $5,000 to fix the engine. I had to get to Austin, rented a U-Haul. The only U-Haul they had was this big U-Haul. So we actually set up the drums in the U-Haul, my 1 amp and the bass player's amp and the guitar case there. And it looked like it was just, and we drove from Dallas to Austin. And we got to the venue and they opened it up and they're like, did y'all rehearse on the way here? Like, what are y'all doing? We had no cases, so it was like
So set up like your rehearsal room.
I know.
That's awesome. Look,
It's like a
man,
Jackass video.
You get a driver and you're just jamming on the way to the gig.
I know.
I'd blame it on my roadies. Our roadies stole our cases, man. They stole the cases.
All right, what else you got?
All right, have you or would you ever play the song Freebird per a fan's request?
No.
Get the fuck out. Yeah, that's what I would say.
I mean, there's always that one guy.
Actually, I take it back.
have you
because
ever
when
played Freebird?
Well, when we first started being from the South, people would scream, Freebird.
People still
And
do.
you know, I know, not anymore. So, I'll never, it was Pittsburgh. And somebody screamed, Freebird. And I was like, all right, fucker.
What year?
Oh, God, in the 90s. And I was like, I'll turn to the guys. I was like, we're playing Freebird for 20 damn minutes.
Oh,
just
my
this
God.
verse, whatever.
We've
And I
never
was like-
done this before.
I mean, nothing against the song, but it's like when people say that, you really want to.
Kick him out of the concert like you did earlier?
No.
Okay.
You want to challenge their intelligence because it's just so silly at this point. And
I'll stop requesting then.
thank you, because I'm going to challenge your intelligence if you do it at our show.
Now, you have done covers. You do like to, I know you've done AC/DC and other things. You
Yeah,
like
we've
to
done
do.
AC/DC,
Yeah.
Gap Band, Ozzy,
What do you do from
U2.
Ozzy?
Crazy Train.
You do
Yeah.
U2 covers?
We did.
That's unfortunate, by
Follow.
the way. I'm just going to say.
We
I
did.
hate
I Will
U2.
Follow. What?
I hate you.
You can hate Bono as a personality, but they're a good band.
No, dude.
You got 3 against 1.
They're
in here, I
gone.
think.
They're dead to me. The biggest mistake I ever made in my life. Went to Park Tavern. Girl talked me into it. Said there's gonna be this big party here. It's $30 to get in. Let's go. We'll drink all day. $30 to get in. Then it's fucking like $5 a ticket to buy a drink, which was stupid. And then we walk in and the band is a U2 cover band that I had to listen to for 3 hours.
I knew
And
it was going
just
somewhere like
this was the absolute worst day.
Well, let me tell you, Collective Soul has lit up Park Tavern many a night. I've seen it.
Well,
bet.
but no, U2's great.
No, I got to say,
I mean, I'm
U2
just
is
saying
You can't
they're
blame
one
a
of the
cover
greatest.
band for you too. Like
They
I have-
ruined
band.
my day.
You want to hear a U2 story? I have a U2 story for you.
Let it rip.
All right. I used to work as, I guess, the crew at, it used to be called the Omni.
The
Phillips
hotel?
Arena. No.
Oh,
the-
the
Phillips,
old
yeah.
Hawks.
The old-
Yeah.
Correct.
The
So it's called the
and
Omni.
Y'all are sitting with the guy that sat in every seat in the Omni. The only person
So
that
U2 came on Unforgettable
Same.
Fire, and I'm one of the guys and girls pushing cases around local crew, and I worked at, like I said, Will's dad's studio, so I knew sound, and they came to me and they said, "Does anybody know how to run a monitor board?" And I said, "I do." And what had happened, the monitor guy's wife went into labor, so he had to leave. So Unforgettable Fire, I got away, and they paid me 50 extra bucks. I sat at the monitor board, and the tour manager came over to me and literally put his finger in my face and goes, "If you touch a fucking knob,
Damn.
I will come over here and kill you unless one of them look at you and tell you something." And I was like, "Yes, sir." I mean, I weighed about 120 pounds at the
Okay.
time.
Was he British? I was just
Uh,
picturing a British
I don't know if he's
roadie.
British. I can't remember. He was
Let me tell you,
European,
You
I guess,
touch that fucking
Irish
knob.
or something. No, it was that way. Yeah,
there'll be
and I
no
was-
knob touching.
Yeah, and so
None.
I sat there, and
That's cool.
I didn't
though.
run monitors, but I sat at the monitor board because I didn't do anything and watched Unforgettable Fire. So after the show,
awesome.
of course, Dean and Will and Shane were all in the audience, and I'm up on stage moving cases, and they're screaming my name. It was like, awesome.
You're awesome.
You're awesome, Ed.
You're on stage with your guy.
Yeah, that taste of the life a little earlier. Yeah.
That is, you did get a taste. Who knew? And now you've had, you know, you ask Ed this one question he will not be able to answer. How many #1 hits have you had?
I don't know.
Why would you answer the question before?
Because I know Ed. Ed.
I don't know. Not
Ed is
you know what? I should answer it. Not enough.
not enough.
Oh,
Good
nice.
point.
Because I think we've written, and this band has done.
I think
We're
8.
very underrated, and I'm just going to say that. And I
No.
don't give a shit.
Is the glass half full or half empty at this point?
Oh, it's half full, baby.
No,
We're on our way.
they're on their way. I will tell you, Collective Soul is one of those bands that you're right. When you ask the rocker question, Ed probably wasn't offended. We're laughing it off. You don't mean anything by it. This is a rock band. This is a band that's had over 8 #1 hits. I know for a fact. And the fact that you're in this studio, I don't know that I will ever have a bigger rock star sitting on this podcast. Just
Of course you will.
I mean, I don't. I mean,
Will's coming in
Depends.
next week, right?
yeah, but he's. Hold on, let me.
Is that sarcasm I picked up?
No,
Will's,
kidding.
but Will's Collective Soul's bass player. Notice how I did not say your bass player.
He's actually the band director. Right?
Yeah.
He does every.
Will has got a great ear, great percussion. The guy plays a great keyboard too. I mean, he's
Talent.
He's a talent.
He
He's
is
a talent. And
Can
I'll say that about him.
Can I ask a question about Collective Soul? You guys started in '92.
It's what. that's a
According to
funny
Wikipedia,
question.
you
I know,
started in '92.
It's funny to say that. I think I sent it out as a band called Collective Soul. We did not start playing to '93. I do know that as a fact.
So I was off by 1 year. And the one thing I was curious about is in 1985, there was a group in Philly known as Boys to Men. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys in '93 formed Collective Soul. Do you think they motherfucked your name when they heard it for the first time? Because Collective Soul is way better than Boys to Men.
It's a good R&B name.
Yeah,
I could see
Collective
that, yeah.
Soul would have been a much better name for those guys. I mean, I've seen them live. Boys to Men's, they're a great group.
They're talented. They look good in denim.
Yeah, but Boys
that
to
was
Men,
their look.
Boys to Men is an awful name. I'm just saying. I think Collective Soul
Well-
is a much better name.
I mean, if you go back to all the boy bands, I always look at their horrible names in general.
Backstreet Boys, yeah. And
I mean,
Sync.
I mean,
Hanson.
I grew up where Backstreet was
38
one of the
98
coolest
degrees.
clubs. You would go like
a gay
you
club.
say the word Backstreet. I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
No, let me tell you, I'm with you. When I was bartending at Rupert's, we would go, and you always wanted to bring a waitress with you, just because you wanted a hot chick with you. We went to Backstreets, but I got my butt grabbed a bunch in there, and I was complimented.
No,
Felt good about it. It was a gay bar, and the heterosexuals ruined it. We went in there because it
I
was the
know.
best time, the dance music, and all of a sudden it became too many dudes coming in there with girls and ruined Backstreet. Boys.
ruined it.
Might have been
Yeah.
a straight dude though, grabbing you from behind with the ponytail. Just saying. Sorry. I'm not sorry, dude.
Do you
look
realize
like a
there's
chick?
two?
Is this an
Don't be
algorithm?
sorry.
There's
Yeah,
two
but he had
ponytails on
short
this show.
hair.
No, Ed has had long. When Ed started, Ed had very long hair. It was down to his ass. Ed's had longer hair than I've ever had.
Yeah, I used to sit on my hair
Ow.
to ride in
Ow.
convertibles.
Hippie problems.
Yeah, hippie problems.
What do you think is the greatest band name of all time out of all the big bands? I mean, if we're talking like Boys to Men having a bad name, you guys, Collective Soul is a great band
God,
name.
we had this conversation a month ago in the band. God, what was it?
Rolling Stone.
No, that's no.
I mean, I don't know.
because that came
The
from
Who?
Muddy Waters. I love the Who. The ones I go back to the
Doors?
ones I don't like.
Journey.
No, Journey's a good name.
I don't.
liked it
I
too.
don't like Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't like Smashing Pumpkins. And that makes.
What
and
about
it's-
Smash Mouth?
I don't know. Let me think.
We're not
and
smashing.
I'm not saying these are bad. I'm just saying the names, and that doesn't mean it right. It's me.
No, they're
it's
just not
right
up
or
your
wrong.
alley.
Right. Because love of God, a collective soul, and how many times people come up and go, man, that Runaway Train song is one of the greatest songs ever. Thank you for recording that. And
Soul Asylum, yeah.
I'm like, I agree with you 100%.
And you've toured with them too, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's
Dave and I laugh our ass off about that.
What about Foo Fighters?
I do like that name.
That's good. Metallica.
because that was named after UFOs, right? That's what the military
Yeah.
called them, Foo Fighters.
Correct.
That's what I think.
Certain names.
Give me a second. I mean,
All
y'all,
right, yeah, yeah.
y'all.
Nirvana.
Lover.
No,
Lover
Nirvana.
boy.
I grew up in a religious house, so I already knew Nirvana.
Okay,
It'd be
can
like
I give you a
calling-
bad one? Mamas and the Papas.
That was a great.
You know what
All the
name? You
leaves
know
I
what
didn't
name?
know. It
you
just
know
has
what
a
name?
name though.
All right, here's the one that you brought that up, and I brought this up. I love Mother's Finest. I love that name, and I
cool
don't
name.
know that because I
cool
love
name.
that band so much.
Me and you
But
both.
that name, Mother's Finest,
Mhm.
like that just punches you right in the
it's
face.
kick-ass. You know, I like 38 Special too. A little bit. Yeah, it's a gun.
I know.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
I can't go wrong with a gun. What about Loverboy? Did you think that was a mistake? I did. I love the music. Hey, I've worked for the Weekend many a time, but I'm like, Loverboy? I don't know.
Worked for the weekend. What's your favorite place to tour to? Favorite city? Oh, never mind. I just
No.
jumped in right in front of Brett.
I just laughed because I have written down. I will show it. It says which city's your least favorite
Oh,
city.
okay. Well, you got to do both then. Yeah, favorite and least.
That's kind of
One more
least
question.
favorite, and it's
Okay.
not because it's least, it's the hardest. Because every city, if anybody shows up, we're so appreciative. The hardest city to do a show in is your hometown, Atlanta.
Oh,
It just-
wow.
There's so many people that you need to say, hey, it's really
Sorry.
it's nobody's fault. It's just
people you
this
need to
is our
avoid,
home.
yeah.
It's just our home.
People like me go, hey, how many people can I get in the green room? How many tickets can I get? And
Guest
you get
list.
a guest list. You get inundated with a guest
It's the
list.
hardest.
True.
Got to be.
Our favorite, and we talk about this all the time, venues is a place called Commodore in Vancouver. We did
Yeah,
2
Canada's
shows there.
bullshit.
Well,
I've been to that
it
venue
may
many
be.
a time.
It may be, but this venue is awesome because the floor was built on rubber tires they put underneath it. So
bounces.
back in the day when we first started, when everybody would do their
Mhm.
pogo, I mean, literally, they were bouncing like,
Oh, that's
you know,
cool.
Yeah, it feels great to
it's
walk on it. You know, it's just
everything.
really
It's
got
just,
that
it's
lift.
just a cool vibe. And then
So is that your favorite or least favorite?
No, Commodore would be his favorite.
Commodore being one of my favorites, and then anywhere
Red Rocks,
in
probably.
Red Rocks and
Least favorite?
anywhere in Cape Town. There's no least favorite. There's the most difficult, and that comes to Atlanta, and that's not out of
Now,
The man told you he's grateful to anybody that shows
No,
up.
no, but
Atlanta's difficult because of all people like me that want guest passes.
can I give stipulations based off of this? And I actually wrote these in. All right, it can be because of people that live in the city.
I'm
It
gonna
can be
start
because of the
cutting
venue.
his
It can
segment.
be because of the hotels, or it can be because of the food. I mean,
That's
like,
This is a
that's
whole
a- that's a-
podcast on its own.
I know that's a good question.
I
Give him a-
mean,
give him a
all those
one-word
things are
answer.
different as to which would be your least favorite.
Give his ass a one-word
City.
Harlem.
I mean, once again, you
Yes.
go. No, it's not based on that. I mean, you got to go to where sometimes you
It has
play.
nothing to do with the fans.
Once again, I agree, and nothing to do with. But you play Oklahoma City in summer where it's 120 degrees and your lighting guy has a heat stroke. That's not.
That's not
necessarily
favorable.
Favorable.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the fans or they're at. It's
No,
just-
absolutely not.
And
How do you feel about Hawaii? Have you ever played Hawaii?
yeah.
God, that's cool.
Um,
Aloha.
dude, we got voted best tour there.
That's
I forgot what year it was, and I was there.
How long did
Not
you live
this
in
Christmas.
Hawaii?
But the Christmas before, I went out and did a private. Check this craziness out.
Mm-hmm.
I did a private in somebody's house. It was me, Willie Nelson, Steven Tyler, Eric Church, and we were all supposed Chris Christopherson. We were all supposed to do 3 songs and talk about the songs. And of course, Willie ends it. Willie gets up there and plays for like an hour. He's fucking high as hell. Like
3
this.
songs, Willie.
I
3
know.
songs.
He didn't care. Nobody cared. We were like, it was awesome.
So you went to somebody's house. Was it Don Ho? Who was
Yeah,
it?
who's the baller that was able to get you guys out there?
Good God. That
No,
cost a lot.
Forget me. I mean, to get Willie and Steven and
Do you remember how much you charged for that? Can you release that, or is the government listening? I want to know.
my wife may be listening too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you charge for Ed Roland to fly out to your house to do 3 songs? Good God.
Little
And that was in
Tito's.
Hawaii too. That's not a cheap
It was
flight.
Maui, no. Yeah.
Damn. See, that's the thing. And, when you're friends like we are and you get away from each other, and there's years, we go a year, we go 2 years, and then we see each other. I don't even know those stories. Those are so rock star. I mean, you're sitting there with Steven Tyler and you're like, so what 3 songs are you doing?
So he gets up there. Yeah, I mean,
So
Steven,
awesome.
Aerosmith was our first tour when we got signed. So,
You're friends with those boys.
well,
Kind.
try to be. But anyway, Steven's sweetheart, but he's Steven Tyler, and so we're talking. Anyway,
I don't have time.
I go, no, he's awesome.
Scarves are
But he gets
everywhere.
up there and he plays Dream On the piano
Oh wow.
Oh,
with
damn.
2 cello players. I'm like, you don't have to pay me anything. I
I've been
won the
entertained.
lottery.
Yeah.
I won the lottery, man.
That's once in a
And
lifetime.
then
I mean,
you got Willie up there just doing his gig,
Uh-huh.
and you get your hotel room and there's a jar of weed from Willie Nelson. I mean, you're like, man, this is this
that
is
good Maui weed. Yeah.
this is life, man.
That's amazing.
And to me, Chris Christopherson's a big deal to me because I can remember as a young man being in Texas when my dad was going to seminary there and waiting on my mom to get out of work. we'd wait in a parking lot, and "Why Me Lord" was on,
Mm-hmm.
and it touched me so much as a young kid. It still does to this day. To me, it's one of the greatest songs ever written. And Chris Christopherson's one of the greatest. And if you read his whole, I mean, he was a quarterback in high school, college, helicopter pilot in Vietnam.
I was going to say Vietnam.
I mean,
Stud.
stole a helicopter to go to Johnny Cash's property to showcase his songs. Like, this dude is a dude.
He's a total dude.
He is the ultimate dude.
Star is Born too, man.
I
Great
mean-
movie. His Star is Born.
Right.
Brad Clontz, you did a good job, but come on. Not Brad Clontz. That's pitched for the Braves.
Bradley Cooper. Come on,
We're
Steve.
take my liquor to the other side.
I told you it was in purgatory.
Bradley Cooper. Did you like that movie?
Which one?
Star is Born with Bradley Cooper.
I didn't see it because
Phenomenal. It's out on HBO now.
I
just
saw
saw it.
I
Haven't
saw
seen it yet.
Doesn't mean he's had time.
my generation. No, it's on the plane.
I'm with you. I'm Christopherson.
I'm a Chris Christopherson,
He
Barbara
watches Smith
Streisand
so
fan,
many-
and it just and there's something. If somebody came out and made Smokey and the Bandit in a modern day, today, I just
Not
couldn't
watch
do
it.
it. I
Never.
couldn't do it.
Never watch
Does
it.
that make sense?
No, it
And
makes total
there's-
sense.
And there's certain.
And I
it
get
doesn't
that.
mean it's not a great movie. Of course it is, and great talent and great songs, great actresses. It's just something that you want to keep to yourself for your life that changed your life, if that makes sense. That's mine. I don't need it to be reimagined or reinterpreted for me to get that feeling again. I get it when I watch it again. Like, you going to redo E.T.?
No.
Yeah, but what if Elon Musk
Somebody will.
redid Smokey and the Bandit and the truck was being driven by a GPS that somebody on a
Nope.
couch was running on their phone and the other guy was in a Tesla
No.
outrunning the
No.
cops?
No.
Dope.
No, you're talking stupid now. And I
No, that is not stupid.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
actually realistic.
Do you know what this
dude, I'm
has-
going to go sell that for at least $15.
all right,
I
shut
do.
up. I want to say right now, and I love you.
I'll give you 20 not to go anywhere with
yeah,
it.
yeah I'll give you.
Post up
Keep it
that
to
20.
yourself.
Just keep
brother.
it to yourself.
I'll give it you 50 just to never repeat that crap.
Hey, can I ask some?
One last question because
Okay.
I'm closing. I'm closing.
I know you want to close. These
Ed's got places to be. He's
I
got
know.
music to record. He's got kids to touch.
I have a write-in.
in a nice way.
I have a write-in, one based off of something he said that's quick, and my rando.
Oh.
A write-in that I have is: are the lyrics to your song heavy about nailing a fat chick?
No.
I'm sure you've
That's
heard
not
that a million
even worth.
times.
Yeah.
No.
One-word
that's
answer
not-
for
I-
this.
I've
Thank you.
honestly, I've never heard that before.
Really?
I've never heard that.
And
before.
all your weight, it falls on me. It brings me down.
It's.
You've never heard that?
I have never
Those are
heard-
all the lyrics of the song.
He's talking
I know
about
what the lyrics are. I wrote them.
he's talking about the weight of life.
Yes.
The weight of
Okay.
life.
The,
a
bringing
metaphor.
you
The,
down.
the emotions of life.
Yes, life. I got that when I heard it.
Okay. Well, I was asked.
It's an analogy.
This was a write-in that I had from
Alex,
my group
who
text.
is Andre the Giant?
Turd Ferguson's back. Turd Ferguson's
Turd Ferguson's back. Last
All right.
question.
No. All right.
No,
this
you
one's-
got to end it.
This one's simple. Ed, what position did you play in baseball?
Second base.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
I didn't
Short
know
arm.
that. That was
All right,
good.
cool.
And you've been listening to the Yakko? No, I'm kidding.
Ed, you obviously like sports. You said it earlier.
Mhm.
Do you like the Olympics?
Mm,
You don't care for it?
I,
But like any sport, you watch Home Run Derby this week?
I did. I actually.
Vladimir-
I
Vladimir-
lost. We
Vlad-
did it. We did it.
Vladimir.
We did a draw in the band and crew. So everybody, it was a draw. It was a who got who, and I had what was his name from Cleveland, Sanchez. So I lost. Johnny Rabb, our drummer, won. I think.
Nice.
Ah, Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
So here's my question. At what point will world records just be world records? Like in 2009, Usain Bolt set the 100-meter record at 9.58 seconds. Will anybody ever run it under 9 seconds?
May have you edit this out.
At what point will somebody run it under 8 seconds?
Is this Bob Costa
When
we're
the
interviewing?
alien-
What
when-
the-
No, I'm not kidding.
No,
I
it's
think,
a realistic question
I-
because look at world records when you were younger. They've been shattered, right? No, I'm trying to ask him something that
Go ahead.
he's probably not usually asked in an interview.
That's for sure.
Records
Nobody.
have been shattered over and over, year after year. But at what point will records no longer be shattered? They'll just be records.
Meaning you can't get any faster or
That
better.
is.
You barely broke it.
Mind blower.
That is.
And that can go from music sales to Olympics to anything.
What a great question. Seriously, that's one.
No,
of the
it
best
really
questions.
is a good question.
That's one of the best questions.
I thought this one out.
I'm out.
I think
Steve's
I
not
think
on-
when
I'll take the
aliens
applause.
invade us and we learn a little bit more. You're
That's-
laughing.
No.
You're laughing. But I think when aliens
dare
invade
you.
us and we learn other
5
things,
years or
and
less.
when we learn to defy gravity, because that's the next energy source we have to deal with is gravity. And I think records can be, but will we allow it? Because we won't even allow steroids or allow people to heal. I mean, to me, I don't know where it could end. I mean, you can't
Do
go
you think it
from
will end
point
in
A.
our lifetime that like nobody will ever break a record ever again in our lifetime? Like we
No,
will peak?
not
and
I
climax?
think you have to define that as naturally.
Name a record. I'll go break it right now.
Hey, Steve, do
It's a
50.
challenge.
I told you 53 and a half push-ups. I will take the under for you, buddy.
I could do 53 push-ups with Ed on my back.
By the way, did you see, speaking of alien life, it came out today that there's over 200,000 people. They're planning a date to bum rush Area 51.
Yeah, we covered that today on Bailey and Southside. You're right.
I think something's going on because I got to be honest with you. When you want to start, what is it, Space Force or whatever it is, something.
Something's
And
up.
I want it because I want to know there's something bigger and better than me. I want to know there's something
In
more
our
exciting
lifetime.
than me. I got to be honest with you. I just do. I
Yeah,
want, I want-
omnipresent. I get it, but that's completely different than like being like an alien would be a physical thing. Like omnipresent, like God or something means something's anywhere, everywhere,
if the
and whatnot.
aliens
But
are
like
going
you're
to
looking
show
at the
up
higher
right
above.
now, I mean, they're not invading. So to me, I think they're
Do you
invading.
think we would treat them like they're
I
invading?
call it an arrival.
Yes, I think right now in our
was a great
society,
movie.
the way we are, I think it would be, to me, it'd be welcomed. I think we would realize that we're all human beings,
Peace.
and correct. I
Peace.
think we would all come together and go, "Hey, we're all equal here."
I mean, to seem realistic and not xenophobic, I do think America is the greatest country in the world.
Did
I
you
would-
just use
I would-
xenophobic on
I
this
would
show?
think that
actually, let's
But
go
Ronald
bigger than
Reagan
that.
had a
Yeah.
speech.
The
about-
universe as we know it. It's the greatest
as
country
we
in the
know
u-
it, as we
know
know
it.
it.
That's
World
where I
as-
go.
But do you think that if aliens came, they
Got
would
some
come to
REM?
America first, or would they go to, Switzerland, or would they go to France, or would they, because they're a bunch of pussies, like would they go there first because they're not going to launch missiles? They come up in here. I mean, we might start popping off. I mean, Donald Trump doesn't play games.
God bless him.
Mm.
Jeez. Well, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. No,
I didn't mean to get deep into this.
We
real
got
quick.
way
I-
too
I got-
deep. I
no,
got a
no,
shallow
I'm good with
ending.
this. I like this.
All right, do you, Ed? 'Cause
I think
damn, I'm gonna.
you go like once again. I go back to you. You said
I'm an
Donald
alien.
Trump.
I go to Australia or
like-
New Zealand.
I'm not. I'm going to whoever's in charge. I'm one that communicates. Whoever I got to deal with, I want whoever I got to deal with.
Who defines who's in charge? Would it be us or China?
Us
Us.
by far.
There's no doubt.
And once again, I go back to Trump going over to North Korea. That's the right move.
That was
You-
huge, by the way.
I think that's the right,
Dude, he
correct
crossed
move.
the DMZ, bros.
It's not about crossing. It's
He's-
about communication.
he
and
stepped
he
on the
goes
front.
100% agree.
And who is the strongest, most manipulative? And I'm going to use that.
Oh,
and I
don't air
care.
quote. We air quoted hard last episode.
I know, but like, hold on.
I'm over here
hold on,
air quoting right
hold on,
now.
Hold on. Who is the number one person in North Korea?
Kim
Kim
Jong
Jong-un.
Un.
Yeah.
Who do we need to go talk to?
Kim Jong Un.
And who did Trump go speak with?
Kimmy.
Kim Jong-un.
That's as
For a second time.
He talked
And
to
by the
Kimmy.
way, as if I was an alien, I would, and that's just say that's a planet. Say North Korea is a planet. That's who I'm going to go talk to.
To an alien, though, North Korea would be a fart in the wind.
I understand that. I'm using it as an analogy.
Yeah.
So
Stay with
North
him.
Korea is a planet. I'm not going to go talk to
It's kind of like
his,
heavy.
his third cousin who's going to assassinate in 2 weeks.
No doubt.
I'm serious. So
No,
you
no,
want to talk?
I'm
you want to talk to the
completely on board
strongest?
with you.
You want to talk to the strongest or the leader. They don't have to be the strongest, but whoever the leader is, whoever you can.
So you would probably come into, you'd have three options, really. You probably have America, China, and Russia. Correct?
I mean, I'd go straight to America. I mean,
And say it right, America.
Reagan had that speech where he talked about aliens invading. That was interesting. Where he's just like that would bring the whole world together, basically.
Well, of course
Yeah,
it would.
and everyone thought when he said that, everyone freaked out. All the conspiracy
Of
theorists.
course
Like, he's
they do.
about to tell.
Of course
about
they do. But
aliens.
like, truly, that's what's going to bring us together.
That's the only
Eventually,
thing.
when the aliens come in and we all go, oh shit,
There
we're
it is.
humans.
Yeah, we're all humans.
And they may be humans too. I don't know what aliens are.
I don't
So
know.
they're out of
records
space.
records will stay what they are. Or they'll be
Oh
broken.
my God,
or,
we're back to this.
I mean, I'm just
I
trying
think-
to ask
I
a
think- I
question.
think
Shut
there's-
up!
I think
forgot
there's
that started
only-
with
I think-
Usain Bolt.
I think there's only
This
so
did.
much. I think there's only so much the human body can do.
I completely agree with you.
I mean, we're talking about baseballs being thrown off
Well,
at the most
And
105.
if you look at the
and-
Guinness Book of World Records, which record do you think you could break or the band could break?
well, Johnny Rabb was the fastest drummer for 5 years in the Guinness Book of World Records, and he's my drummer.
Gotcha. Dude,
He
now,
took
hold
it
on.
dead serious.
Hold
on
on.
that.
Seriously,
I
I'm
set
dead
him
serious.
up. That's a fact. Listen to that. The drummer of Collective Soul is the fastest drummer in the world.
For 5 years, not anymore.
Not anymore. Who beat him out? Was it Kobayashi?
Joey
He's got
Chestnut.
it. He's in everything.
By the way,
No,
fuck-
That damn Kobayashi. He wins.
Let somebody else win.
The Rock. The Rock.
can
The
we say
Rock.
fuck Joey Chestnut? He screwed me out of a lot of money.
Yeah.
You bet on that?
Oh, dude, I bet the over.
But that could be
I
one
bet
of the
my
best.
nut.
That's
on-
one of the best questions. Like I like that, but I think there is a limit to anything.
There has to be a limit in
by
the
way,
human body.
And I read too much. Like when we're sitting right now, we're actually not touching this. There is a million centimeter. You're
Gonna get
you're-
deep.
We're the energy we bring will not allow us. The energy we're bringing is now not
bring the
our
X-Files music
vibrations are
back?
not allowing us to touch.
No,
fully
I-
and-
I'm
does
with
that
you.
make sense?
No,
Flush,
100%,
for
yeah.
lack of a better term, flush.
Then
So
why do
I
people
think-
get rashes? That's deep.
Southside, you would be the person to ask about rashes.
My son is dealing with a baby rash right now. It's been very difficult at the house. It's his first one.
How your balls doing? Sorry.
But I think it all comes down. It's all mathematic and it's all vibrations.
you're
I
right.
mean, it's just
But there has to be one point where the human body can no longer exceed what the human body has already done.
But then
If
you have to define the human body because with AI coming out and then with
that,
you
that's
see where
the whole different rabbit
well,
hole.
but that if I have a electronic knee or an electronic elbow, does that make me not human?
Oscar
define
Pistorius.
define a human. To me, a human has soul. So if I have everything mechanical and I have soul,
It's only if
does
the
that make sense?
if the mechanical
no,
thing
I'm
gives
with
you an
you.
advantage, though, then that would be the problem.
Like the $6 million man.
right, right.
A RoboCop.
which would get you a nice house in Sandy Springs and a Tesla.
Yeah, come on. yeah.
Nowadays, you're not fixing anything on that body for $6 million.
No.
But you see what I'm saying? So I think you have to take everything and I don't know.
I mean, at what point do you think human society will peak?
I don't think we ever will. That's the fun part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, short a
Ah,
meteor
it
or
has
something
to peak
coming.
at some
yeah.
point, though.
When we see the good
It-
man,
I know.
or the
I
big
don't
energy,
think-
or when we see the good man or the big energy, whatever anybody wants to believe.
Yeah.
I believe there's something. Of course, there's something bigger and better than us. We wouldn't.
You'll meet a guy with a pitchfork, but it's all right, Brett.
He's waiting for you.
I've been ready for years. I mean,
I got a machete for
I'm
him. I'll
going to
take his ass
hell,
out
man.
quick. I think it's ever evolving till
Yeah.
But there's-
the next explosion.
I'm
Or
just
it
saying,
could
there's
be it
no,
could be a
there's no
black
way,
hole that
there's
or
no
the
way
big-
there's going to be somebody that runs the 100-meter or swims or breaks Michael Phelps' record. I'm talking Olympic stuff, and breaks it and does like 100 meters in 5 seconds.
It
something
defines
like
on
that.
what they allow them to have because with AI and with where we're going with medicine and artificial
Let me
limbs
race
and things
Usain
like-
Bolt. I'll sit in a wheelchair with a rocket pack
No,
on my back. I mean, come
Look
on.
at it like this, Mark
No,
Spitz.
you still have to have the limbs. I mean, you can
I
make it
have
a
the
physical.
limbs, I'm just
you can make it
sitting.
physical. You can't sit in a Tesla and go, I'm going to take on.
Usain
Bolt.
Bolt, yeah.
Brett
I
has
think you
thick
have to have
limbs.
the limbs.
Oh, I'm
and-
very thick.
He has thick limbs. Thick limbs. You have great limbs. You have soft skin. Thank you,
Good
Roland.
Lord.
I don't. Hey, I'm just
We're
trying
back
to.
full circle. Yeah.
I
I
gotta
like
tell you.
that. That is one of the.
I'm glad.
Seriously, in the
I feel like
25
we're
years
Bill
I've been
Nye
doing
and
that,
the
that is
Science
one of the.
Guy or whatever.
I love that because that's the shit I like to talk about.
Hey,
'cause
Southside, are you glad you didn't tell me to eat a dick and actually
No.
ask one more?
I apologize. You enjoyed his questions.
I love that.
All right, great.
You want me to
I'm
ask
sorry.
one more?
Next time,
Yes,
that's all we'll
I
have
do.
for you.
Here,
I
how
will
about this,
tell you.
Southside? He wants one more.
All right, no, fine.
And
if
this
Ed
one's-
wants it, give
This
it to
one's
him.
a yay or nay. This is stupid. When you're in the North, do you call the Ed Roland and the Sweet Tea Project the Ed Roland and Iced Tea Project?
Oh, I get that.
You should.
That's a good point. Actually, that was a good question.
Sometimes I go Ed Roland the just iced. Yeah, iced. Yeah,
Iced tea.
that's it.
Nice.
Hey,
I like Ed.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
it's off the top of my head.
Dude, you're a good guy. I like you.
That's all it
speaking of
took.
sweet tea, do you know I still have the white T-shirt that you had? You were throwing them out years ago, and your little mason jar. It says Ed Roland Sweet Tea. I drink out of that almost every other day.
I drank my damn unsweet tea this morning.
I drink out of it.
I'm sorry, I made a Arnold Palmer. I love me some Arnold Palmer.
Oh,
Oh,
you're-
that's damn good. That's good Southern
You're
boy.
Tito's and Arnold?
well, that's a John Daly.
That's yeah.
I know. They're great.
I was doing.
I can bomb some drags, too.
I was
Let's
around my
go.
wife. I had to do an Arnold Palmer. Pass the Tito's, please.
Yes,
Yeah.
Tito's. I will say, longest show we've ever done.
We're closing in on
Ed,
2 hours.
Yeah, Ed, I just want to ask you this: out of all the people out there that are your friends, who's your biggest celebrity friend? Like, could-
that's. I'm not going to answer that.
Oh.
I can tell you.
In your phone book, who's the most famous person?
Wait, hold on. Where were you going to go with it? Were you going to give me initials, or
well,
what were
I
you going
mean, you know, it's my hero,
to? Okay,
Elton. I mean, it's just Elton.
Elton.
You know.
Atlanta
he
guy.
lives in it. Yeah, I forget.
That makes sense.
All right.
And that's my hero. And then after that, man, I'm a Southern boy. It's my mom.
Boom.
That's my hero.
Mm-hmm. I saw a picture of Facebook with you and
You
your mother.
see that?
I saw that.
And you
were
know what
hugging.
she does?
What?
When I hug her, she goes, "I'm gonna get you."
Oh,
Like she does that all. Like it's still
Sweet.
just so, and I just fucking melt. I'm like, God, I want to be like her. She's badass.
That's awesome. Well, I think you are. I think if there's one thing we know about you, not just a talent, but a fabulous father. You got that going on.
Well, thank you. I just sent my oldest a text today. Speaking of fabulous fathers.
Daddy's with Southside Steve
No,
and his
no,
weird
I
ass
was like,
friend Brett.
Hold on.
Get me out of here.
You'll love this.
I think Ed likes me at this point.
He's doing a 2-hour podcast about Martians.
Hold on. Check this shit out.
Oh my God, Jimmy. Oh, look at that.
No.
I hope I'm making myself clear.
What did it say?
Fuck,
For the
I got these
listeners, what
emissions
did it
done in a week. I'm like,
Nice.
Daddy comes home and it's like, Daddy's home.
Daddy's home. That's
'Cause
nice.
my dad will whip my ass the same way.
Yeah, no
You
doubt.
got anything to mix this with?
Yeah, got any
That's
mixers?
Sprite. Can I have some of your Sprite?
Shit's empty.
What? What do you need? We got mixers downstairs. We got a full locker of sodas.
We'll get some more.
Go get some.
Nah, fuck
Let's
it.
wrap it.
Fuck it, just drink it
Take
straight.
us out, Steve.
Just drink it straight. I hate it. Ed Roland, I hope we get you back on this show again sometime.
We
I
would
want to
love it.
bring
You know
more
what we need to do?
trippy
What?
questions.
The one thing I do want to bring up,
Mhm.
I we're doing our Atlanta show
Mhm.
here, and day after Thanksgiving,
Thanks
and I
for
don't know why I'm not bringing that up.
See, that was the cigarette break thing
Yeah,
where you
we
looked at me
plugged it.
weird. I gave you a second to plug.
Can we call it Black Friday? Is that offensive?
Yes.
Start hitting them up for guest list now.
No. Hold on now.
I know. I'm waiting to see.
November 29th, Collective Soul at the Roxy.
November 29th.
29th.
Nice.
You should let Southside Steve introduce you.
I will be there.
You get no. He's
You know, you and I were getting along really good for a second. I'm joking.
How's everybody doing? The greatest band of all time, other than Journey. It is Collective Soul. What do you think?
Okay.
I'm kidding. I would never.
The 29th. Everybody come out, please.
Yeah.
Day after Thanksgiving.
Do it.
Who do you? You don't use an intro. They don't need you. You intro it.
I
Right?
don't intro anything. We just
Just
have
walk
an
out.
intro.
Yeah, just
walk out.
play.
No
I've
opening
intro-
band.
For the record, I have introed them before. Let's see, I did it at the very first Music Midtown. You were at 95. I went up on stage and did the announcements for 96 Rock.
Did you
After
screw it
doing
up?
an interview. No, I didn't screw it up. I said Collective Soul and everything. I said it right. I have, you know, the one I screwed up, and you're going to laugh at this. REO Speedwagon at the Star Spangled Amphitheater, whatever it is, at Six Flags. 94. I'm out there doing my first stage gig. I introduced him. I go, "Here's REM." And
No,
then-
you did not.
Yes, I did. And
So,
the guitarist is like, "Hey, dickhead, we're REO."
dude, we were when we
I'm
first
like, REO.
We first got signed to Atlantic. Our first show was at Panama City Beach. So Atlantic was trying to spoil us. I know they paid for a day before the show, and like we've never been to Panama. You're spoiling us, Southern boys in Panama City Beach.
We grew up here.
So we're laying on the beach, and there's this plane that flies by, and it goes, "Tomorrow night, Connective Soul." And the guy from the label was sitting next to me, and you know my humor.
Yeah,
he's
probably
like, "Oh my
Boyz
god,
II
oh my
Men."
god." He's like thinking they're gonna. I was like, "That's the funniest shit I've ever seen."
That's
like
awesome.
that is just how this should start.
It
It's
is.
Yeah.
That's just what you
Just
do.
go with it, man. That shit's. What are you gonna do? Shoot the fucking plane down? It's not
No.
the Red
Yeah,
Baron.
It's not a marquee. You can't
Yeah,
just swap it out. Yeah.
It's not the Red Baron. He's not doing anything. Connective Soul. Let's all have a fucking laugh.
He's grabbing his bag phone. Okay, we need
Oh,
to get that
dude,
plane back.
dude. I mean,
Oh,
he
but-
was going nuts. I was like, dude, you need to
Let it
chill
go.
out, man. I was like, can he make one more fly through so I can get a picture of it?
It's Connective
Connective
Soul.
Soul.
Here's what we're doing. We're putting you guys up at Pier 99. You're playing Club La Vila.
And
It's
we're
gonna
getting
be
your name
fantastic.
wrong on a
Oh, shit.
Club La
That's
Vila.
Club La Vila.
You guys rock. At
No.
some point, I got to go home to my family. They're going to be missing me.
No, I want to thank
Not
you.
really.
Thank you for being on the Yeah Come On show. It's an absolute pleasure. And again, that date for Collective Soul in Atlanta.
November 29th.
All right, everybody go out there and see him. That will be at the Coca-Cola Roxy. And Ed, pure pleasure, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
As
you.
always.
Only love.
Only love, brother.
Yeah, man.